Hey guys, Mitch Kieran here at Corbett Field, and boy, does it feel good to be back. And we're finally back with another edition of Dogs Daily ahead of tonight's game for your Souris Valley Sabre Dogs against the Pierre Trappers. Now, the Sabre Dogs finally got a much-deserved day off yesterday, and boy, did they deserve it after grinding out 16 wins in a row, and 13 of those were on consecutive days. So the Sabre Dogs are in high spirits. They've been playing fantastic baseball, and we've been on the road for the past week, so there's a lot to cover. Now let's break it down for you on Dogs Daily. Now, the road trip started off well for the Sabre Dogs, who went to Bancroft Memorial Park and got a clean sweep over the North Iowa Ragin' Roosters in their first matchup on the summer. 18-1, 4-2, and 20-1 were the final scores, and we saw huge offensive performances all week out of Chris Monroe, Seth Delgado, Hunter Delanoy, and Dason Cruz, who all had hits in at least 60% of their at-bats and took flight with home runs out of Bancroft Memorial Park. We also saw great pitching with wins for Dan Tomkowitz, a gutsy win in relief for Tyler Elliott, and a debut W for Joel Barker. The Sabre Dogs then took their winning streak just west of the Iowa border to the Birdcage, home of the Sioux Falls Canaries in the American Association. Friday through Sunday was a round-robin series featuring each of the Expedition League teams, and the weekend started off with another instant classic game with the Red River Pilots. The Pilots were clutching to a 1-0 lead until the bottom of the sixth, until a string of wild pitches led to the tying run, and it was then Luis Pelayo who was clutch and broke the game open with a 2 RBI double. Trent Dewyer would pick up his second win, and Brett Laura earned his third save on the summer in the 4-1 win over the Pilots. Souris Valley would go on to sweep the rest of the Expo Series, beating Pierre Saturday 6-1 and North Iowa Sunday 9-5 to extend the winning streak to 16 games in a row. Now, while many Sabre Dogs have had fantastic summers up to this point, one of the biggest standouts so far is our leading hitter, Hunter Delanoy. He's taking tonight with a 16-game hitting streak, dating all the way back to the start of the winning streak. So for today on Dogs Daily, we're going to go one-on-one with our leading bat, Hunter Delanoy. Hey guys, welcome back to Dogs Daily, and now on the program, Hunter Delanoy, our leading hitter in batting average, but also just all over the field, making great play look effortless time and time again. Been wanting to get you on the program for a long time now, Hunter, but finally a good reason with this 16-game hitting streak. So I want to thank you for your time today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Well, again, Hunter, let's just talk about this sustained level of success that you've had at the plate again. This 498 batting average and a 16-game hitting streak. Now, you made it look just so easy, but these are just such rare stats to come across in baseball. You know, how you've been able to really just find success this early on this summer?
Well, this whole summer, my goal is just kind of come up here and create consistency in my offensive swing and game plan, and I kind of found a good approach to keep to, and it's kind of been working out for me. So.
Well, that was the key word right there, consistency, because that's exactly what you've offered here, but also at your alma mater, Wayne State. Now, you got one more year for the Warriors up in Detroit, but you're already the career batting average holder with 357. So, you know, how really have you been able to develop this level of sustained success? They come from Coach Ryan Kelly, or what did you kind of learn at Wayne State for your career?
Well, Coach Kelly, I've learned a ton from him over the last couple of years I've been there. One thing is hard work and dedication to the program and just blue-collar work ethic. So it's kind of translated into my game and kind of worked hard to get to this point and just kind of keep it going.
Well, fantastic. So now you got the one more year to look forward to at Wayne State, and I'm sure they're going to love having you back. But we already love having you in the Magic City. So I guess, you know, for the rest of the season, now that we're about 3 or so weeks into the year now, what are you kind of hoping to get out of this summer? You know, how are you liking the Magic City, and where are you hoping we'd be by August?
Well, this Magic City is something else. Obviously, I've never been up here before, so it's a lot different than back in Detroit. It's a cool city, great people, cool place to play at. As far as the baseball side, I just want to keep it going and keep hitting the ball hard, and we'll see what happens.
Well, Hunter, we're hoping this hitting streak goes literally the rest of the season, but if anyone's going to do it, it's probably you, man. So anything else you want to add to the program?
No, I think that's it.
All right, fantastic. Hunter Delanoy on Dogs Daily. Hunter, thanks again for your time, and best of luck in tonight's game.
Thank you.
Dakota Community Bank and Trust, Bell Bank, West Dakota Chevy Dealers, BASF, we create chemistry, Women's Way,
The summer solstice, the longest day of the year. Souris Valley, the Sabre Dogs, looking to extend its longest winning streak in organization history, hosting the Pierre Trappers on Beck. Happy to have you along with us on a beautiful day from Corbett Field. Chris Clayton here with Mitch Kieran on Beck. Well, what a start to the season for Souris Valley. 20-1, 16 consecutive victories. They're the league champs last season. They're looking to do so again this year as well. What makes this Sabre Dogs team so dominant this year?
Well, I think Coach Kieran has just done it once again. You know, he just finds guys at all levels. We have guys that are at very good programs, NAIA and D2 dominated, but there are a handful of JUCO and D1 standouts as well, and I mean standouts. They put up the numbers that really show talent, but at the same time, they just have that edge that they go out there, want to perform, win every at-bat, win every pitch, and win every ball game. And so far, they've done all that but one game.
Yeah, and 7-0 this season against Pierre, so they're very familiar with this Trappers team. But this Pierre team has been very competitive this year. Certainly the underdog on paper in this matchup, but why are they capable of pulling off an upset today?
Well, you just can't ever really count them out. You know, the last time Casey Kasheva was out on the mound, he probably had one of the best outings or one of the better outings against the Sabre Dogs. Through 7 solid innings, only held them to 4 runs, and that really is saying something coming off of all those games, whereas in a string of 3, they outscored them 62-3.
Yeah, and that's something that Souris Valley has been doing to a lot of opponents this year. Utter domination, including a 27-0 win earlier this season. And we are just about ready to get underway for Souris Valley. On the bump today, it's Brett Laura, and he'll pitch to Hunter Brown to start this game off. 16 straight wins and a strike to start this game for Souris Valley.
And you know, Brett Laura, a guy that we've called out a relief. He's got 3 saves, the team high for the Sabre Dogs, but he gets the start tonight, and already he's trying to get in the zone early, working ahead in the count 0-2.
Yeah, how about that? With 5 appearances, 3 saves this season, has been so good with a 1.80 ERA, but it's a different role for him today. Kind of an adjustment period as he takes this 0-2 pitch right in the breadbasket, tosses on to first for the easy first out.
Well, I think he's just a player that really knows the game. You know, he was recruited to go to Oklahoma University, now down playing in Omaha, and he just makes plays like this. You know, he's out there showing the heat early, but he was ready for that comebacker and made an easy 1-3 putout.
Playing a standout at Oklahoma Science and Arts University, an NAIA school, whereas the starter for that team, he went 7-0 with a 3.32 ERA. Strike on the first pitch to Noah McCreary.
Here's another guy that's going to have a big night for the Trappers. He's already one of their top hitters. He's going to fall behind 0-2, so he's going to try to battle back, but definitely up there. One of their most veteran hitters out of Clark University, so let's see if he can get things going with 1 down, no one on.
Yeah, .212 batting average this season for McCreary, and he goes down swinging. How about this start for Brett Laura? His first start of the season for Souris Valley. And it's been easy money so far through a couple batters.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, you know, him getting the start tonight, but you take a couple of guys going pro this week to the Pioneer League, so the roster might be looking a little short. He's getting his number called and swinging a miss for Hawk, but so far on the year, he's been able to get a feel for the game, you know, get put in those situations where his number's called on late, but now he's getting the start, and you can tell he's just in the game early, and he wants to get a good start out there on the bump, and so far he's doing just that.
Finally misses the zone to make it 1-1 there on the inside. Souris Valley last played on Sunday. 9-5 win over North Iowa. It was played in Sioux Falls. So kind of an interesting Friday, Saturday, Sunday showcase for all 4 teams in the Expedition League in Sioux Falls, Iowa. Mitch, you were present for those.
Absolutely. Souris Valley, the lone team to go 3-0 on the weekend. And as the current league standings, Red River 2-1, Pierre here 1-2 on the weekend.
2-1 pitch is fouled off the left side and out of play. Even the count up. Yeah, Pierre with a loss on Sunday, 5-3 to Red River. And by the way, that Red River team is the only team that's been able to beat Souris Valley this season. Sabre Dogs got revenge on Red River, but certainly a feat when you look at how dominant Sabre Dogs have been this season.
Absolutely.
2-2 up the middle. Off one bounce. It's the shortstop, Cruz, who's able to come up with it and throw it on to first for the 3rd out. Let's take a look now around the region at Souris Valley's upcoming schedule. They'll play Pierre once again tomorrow. And then they have a 3-game series with that aforementioned Red River team who sits in 2nd place. That's our around the region, the upcoming schedule for the Sabre Dogs, brought to you by West Dakota Chevy Dealers. Take a look at our Eventide Senior Living Community keys to the game. Well, for Pierre, we mentioned on Sunday they lost 5-3 to Red River. One thing that stood out in that game, errors a little bit of an issue for the Trappers. So when you play a team like Souris Valley, you don't want errors to pile up. They're a team that really doesn't need help. So that's something that head coach Jamie Haber would like to be sharp here today.
Absolutely. This is a team that you really cannot offer many mistakes to, not in the strike zone, and especially like you mentioned out in the fields, because they're going to hit a lot of balls hard. But one thing that Red River has done well as Pierre, that we've seen here at Corbett Fields, they've taken away a lot of hits from these Sabre Dogs, whether it be a hard line drive right at fielders or just some of those tough plays. Most of the time they're making them, but if you give them that air, just that one, all it takes is one, and then a rally gets started.
And for Souris Valley, one thing they've been so proud of this year is maintaining that sense of urgency. They've got the 1st place in the standings by far, but head coach Michael Kieran wanting his team to make sure they stay locked in and motivated each and every game. A couple standouts for both these teams in our Proceed player matchup. Jacob Griffin, he bats in the 9 spot for this Pierre team, but he leads the team in runs batted in. A couple home runs this season. Got his spot in the order change. He's hitless the last 3 games. He's the guy they'd love to get going. And for Souris Valley, the emergence of Ben Lavorsi has been phenomenal here this season, as he in just 5 games has put together those numbers: 412, 6 RBIs, and 4 home runs. Again, that is just in 5 games.
I gotta tell you, 3 of those home runs on his debut as a Sabre Dog. 3 solo shots. What a way to make your presence felt in the Magic City.
Yeah, and Casey Kosheva, he's got his hands full here in this one. A chance to really prove himself, going against a loaded lineup for Souris Valley, excuse me, starting with Luis Pelayo. And the 1-0 pitch misses again. It's 2-0.
Now, I gotta tell you, we have been really treated with Luis Pelayo in the leadoff spot, not only doing his job scoring runs, but also driving them in an even number at 24 each.
And he's got a comfortable 3-0 advantage here. Pelayo, 10 multi-hit games this season out of the 18 he's played. Way inside, and a 4-pitch walk.
Well, good things happen when he gets on base early, as the Sabre Dogs time and time again have been able to put up a crooked number in the bottom of the 1st. When that happens, most of the time the games don't go past 7 innings. So Pelayo easily gets the job done on 4 pitches, and now we got a guy on a 16-game hitting streak. Now, he came to the Sabre Dogs, Hunter Delanoy, the current batter, after the first 4, the clean sweep of Red River. He went hitless his first game, but every time he's gotten a hit, Sabre Dogs have won.
.492 batting average on the seat, best on the team. And for Kosheva, not a great start. 5 pitches all out of the zone.
Yeah, he's just got to settle in here again. You mentioned he has his hands full. It's a tough task, 1 through 9. Really no weak spots when you look back over the summer stats or even back to the spring. You know, this is a loaded group, and this is, again, a veteran group. These guys are seasoned and they have proven themselves at the collegiate level.
Guns in the 1-0. And he just misses again. And Kosheva pitching at Clark University, an NAIA school in Iowa. This is his 5th start of the season for Pierre. Trying to find the zone here on the 2-0. 7 pitches, 7 balls for Kosheva.
And we talked to Delanoy before the game, and a guy that really just tries to focus on consistency. Learned that under head coach Ryan Kelly at Wayne State, and that really helped him a lot with his baseball career. Finally watches a strike go by. And consistency has definitely been key. It's obviously carried over this summer, and a .357 career batting average. That is the current career holder for the Warriors at Wayne State.
Second team all-region selection at Wayne State. Bringing it to Souris Valley, where he's been fantastic. Runner goes for second and makes it with ease. Luis Pelayo able to nab second base.
And that was a pitch trying to paint that low outside corner. They give it to him. Might have been just a few more inches in that off the plate. Thought we might have seen ball 4, but a base hit ball 4 approach now for Delanoy. And he's got a chance to crack this game open for the first time with Pelayo just across the diamond from him.
Here's the 3-2. Fouled off. Big at bat here already in this game in the first inning. You got to think mentally for Kosheva and Pierre as a whole. You'd love to get off to a good start, not just maybe take a lead, but be in this game, because it's easy to get discouraged when you see what Souris Valley has been able to do to teams game after game this year. 3-2. Swinging another foul ball way out of play on the left side.
Yeah, well, that's a good point you bring up, Chris, but Pierre mostly on the season has seen the North Iowa Ragin' Roosters. Now, they have been quite back and forth as well. Most of their wins coming against the Roosters, and they also took one from the Red River Pilots. But still, just a problem with the Souris Valley Sabre Dogs. Now, they played them a lot closer after that opening series where we mentioned the 62 runs given up. But eventually, if they hang around the contest, you can't really count them out.
And it's a long at-bat that pays off for Delanoy. He's eventually walked on the 8th pitch.
Your designated hitter, number 31, Ben.
And that'll bring up Ben Newbert out of Bloomsburg University, a Division II school in Pennsylvania, where he's finished his career this spring, top 10 in school history. Home runs, RBIs, doubles, and runs scored. One of the all-time greats at Bloomsburg. First pitch is a strike to him.
And Coach Kieran actually discovered Ben Newbert on an opposing team in the Prospect League last summer, the Johnstown Mill Rats. What he liked about Newbert is that he couldn't figure out how to get him out. So then he recruited him to the Magic City, and he has been phenomenal.
Quick throw to second off the shoulder of Pelayo. That looked painful.
Yeah, watch back here. And again, we were talking a little bit before the game. A lot of these players, they're battling fatigue because yesterday was their first off day in 2 weeks. So a lot of them, again, tired, maybe a little bruised up, and wearing one off the shoulder certainly doesn't help. Plus his throwing arm.
Foul on the 0-1. Yeah, it's the Expedition League schedule. Not a lot of days off. You would think that would add up to Souris Valley tripping up here or there just with fatigue and injuries. They've made some new signings, brought in some new bodies, and still on a 16-game winning streak. Now the 0-2 to Newbert. Swinging a ground ball, gets past short and out into left field to McCreary. Pelayo will hold up at third. A nice throw from McCreary, but the bases are loaded now with no one out. First hit of the game comes from Ben Newbert for the Sabre Dogs.
And again, that's just a nice pitch he gets at the knees. He's just got a great approach. He keeps his hands back for a long time and then just fires everything. And he's able to turn on a nice grounder to left field. And bases loaded. with a very powerful hitter, probably one of the premier power hitters in the Expedition League this summer. And they call him Diesel for a reason.
Diesel, you see that 8 home run number? Just in the last 9 days, 7 games, he's hit 3 home runs. So with the weather getting warmer, ball started to travel more, Chris Monroe is taking full advantage. He's down 0-1 though now.
And not only do you love Chris Monroe as a batter, but also just a competitor. He has started every game at first base for the Sabre Dogs this summer. A guy that really doesn't matter what his fatigue is. He just wants to be out there and win every pitch.
Bouncer to the mound. Nice play by Kosheva to go home for 1 and on to first for a double play. That's big time from Casey Kosheva to keep the Sabre Dogs off the board.
Well, again, you get bases loaded, no outs. You got to keep your composure. You leap up, make that great grab, a throw home to Trumbull, then a strike to Barraza at first. And again, you got to give a lot of credit to this Pierre defense to just stay in the zone, know their assignments, and execute. Now, again, a lot of these defensive plays, you got to establish that over a course of time. These guys are just new teammates, and they commit that play.
First pitch low, and it's 1-0. Dason Cruz. Very consistent this season. He's played 13 games, has at least 1 hit in every outing this season. And now he's ahead 2-0.
Yeah, you see the 1 home run to his name. There was 1 game that got rained out against Red River, so we're still looking to finish that one up. But Cruz had a home run in that one that broke the tie from 3-3 to 5-3, and he had a really nice week on the road.
The 2-0. Low again. Some early issues from Kosheva, but no runs yet.
Yep. He's still got that goose egg. He's just got to try to find a ground ball, give Cruz something to swing at, and let your defense go to work here.
Cruz with 14 RBI in the season, looking for more. And it's 3-1. Really windy day, and it is gusting right towards that foul pole on the left field line. And it's fouled over to that left side to make it 3-2. So an advantage for right-hand hitters. Sadly for Cruz, he is a lefty.
You know, that might be a reason why he's been kind of around the zone. He's trying to not feed these right-handed batters really anything middle in. When I say that, I'm pretty much Newbert and Monroe. Newbert was able to reach for 1, but Monroe got him to just chop 1 back up the middle.
Swing and a miss, and how about Casey Kosheva? The bases were loaded with no one out. He gets a double play and then a strikeout. Scoreless through the top, or through 1 in Minot.
This game on the Beck Sports Network is presented by the following: Farmers Union Insurance, Dakota Community Bank and Trust, Val Bank, West Dakota Chevy Dealers, BASF, we create chemistry, Women's Way, Degelman Industries has been manufacturing reliable, high-performance equipment for over 55 years. See for yourself with the industry-leading Degelman Land Roller. Available in sizes from 20 to 80 feet, a Degelman Land Roller decreases downtime and fuel cost and provides optimal seed-to-soil contact while reducing weeds and moisture loss. Visit Degelman.com for more information and to find an authorized dealer near you. Degelman, engineered tough.
Back at Corbett Field in Minot, taking a look at the defense for the Souris Valley Sabre Dogs. Brett Laura, 3 up and 3 down, pitching today for this Sabre Dogs team. Ben Lavorsi is the catcher, the senior from Minnesota State, finishing up his career. And the outfield is Luis Pelayo in left, Eduardo Martinez out in center field, Delanoy playing right. In the infield, left to right, Alex Crouch, Dason Cruz, Jake Barlow, and Chris Monroe is at first base. It's the starting defense for the Sabre Dogs. And a nice start for Brett Laura in the first inning. He's kind of the closer for this team most of the season with 3 saves and 5 appearances, but getting the start today and off to a really nice start.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time or we're going to see, go to the pen, just a matter of stamina, but it's Barraza to pop up towards the left side.
And under this one is Palaio. Makes the grab for out number one. One pitch, one out in the top of the second.
Well, already this is already favoring Brett Laura. That was only his 12th pitch thrown and just a one-pitch pop out. That's quite the start here. Looking for efficiency, just trying to get the most out of his first start on the summer.
And I'll bring up Trevor Seagraves.
And it's a pretty quick turnaround, I would say, for Brett Laura. He came into the game to relieve Trent Dewyer on Friday night, which was actually a phenomenal matchup with the Red River Pilots. And it was against the pitcher, Nate Scott, the lone pitcher that has beaten the Sabre Dogs. And he held them scoreless through the first 5 innings. So then Laura coming in relief was huge.
Seagraves bunts. Laura comes up with it. Throw to first, and it careens off the glove of Monroe. They're not able to make the play. Trappers have their first base runner of the game.
Not a bad bunt, but it's still within range of Brett Laura. Just couldn't make the pick at first. A tough play, but now the go-ahead run in the first run of this game reaches for the Trappers. So they're hanging in there so far here out of the gates, playing tough.
So an error by the Sabre Dogs defense brings up Maddox Mueller. You see the numbers on the season for Mueller, but that doesn't really tell the whole story. He's really starting to come around. Fouls that one off, and it's 0-2. But the last 5 games now for Mueller, he's hitting .411, 5 runs batted in, a home run, and a couple doubles just in the last 5 games.
Absolutely. Now you got to take the opening weeks or so for a lot of these guys with a grain of salt. It's a big adjustment period. You get those weeks off after the spring. You switch from aluminum to wood, whatever the factor may be, travel, you name it. But eventually, a lot of these guys will start coming around. That's what we're seeing from Mueller.
Yeah, and Mueller's one of the young guys. There's some experienced players that have gone all the way through 4 or 5 years of college. Mueller committed to play at a high school for Andrew College. It's a JUCO in Cuthbert, Georgia. So one of the younger players in the Expedition League. Mueller out of Whitewater High School in Georgia. Keeps himself alive with a foul ball there.
Early on in the year, he was trying to fit that leadoff hitter role for Pierre. Wasn't quite getting the job done after those first few series against the Roosters, but then you bump him down to the middle of the order, right here in the 6th hole, and a runner on. This could still be a dangerous situation.
Runner goes to second. It's strike 3. And Seagraves is able to make it safely. So there's the 2nd K now for Brett Laura.
Next, number 8, Cody Rich.
And again, Brett Laura definitely showing off the velo early. Definitely get up to the lower 90s, as can a lot of these guys. So now with the reliever in the start, we might be looking at a couple of other flamethrowers, maybe Ethan Swanson or maybe even Marco Ozuna, a JUCO All-American this past spring.
First pitch in there to Colby Rich. It's a called strike. Rich trying to get something going offensively for him. He had a tough weekend, 0 for 5 hitless in Sioux Falls and Pierre's 3 games. And now he's down 0-2 with a big swing and a miss.
And again, it's a bigger guy taking a bigger swing, so you can't really offer him anything in the wheelhouse. His hitting's timing. If he can get the timing down and gets a pitch he likes, that could still be trouble. But Laura's in a good situation here. 2 down and an 0-2 count.
Guns in the pitch. Outside for ball 1. Rich started his career at Northeast Community College, transferred to Oklahoma Wesleyan, where he plays now in NAIA school. There's the 1-2. Ticked foul on the right side.
And we've seen plenty of Eagles out of Oklahoma Wesleyan this summer. Most of them here for Souris Valley. We've seen Cody Muncie, Seth Delgado, plus Jesus Rojas. None of them in the game tonight, but they have all been spectacular. Very happy to have them under Coach Kelly here this summer.
That's one thing that's fun about the Expedition League is guys playing against their teammates, playing against their college coaches. A lot of crossover. Another strikeout back-to-back for Brett Laura. He's off to a great start for Souris Valley.
This game on the Beck Sports Network is presented by the following: Farmers Union Insurance, Dakota Community Bank and Trust, Bank, West Dakota Chevy Dealers, BASF, we create chemistry, Women's Way, Degelman Industries has been manufacturing reliable, high-performance equipment for over 55 years. See for yourself with the industry-leading Degelman Land Roller. Available in sizes from 20 to 80 feet, a Degelman Land Roller decreases downtime and fuel cost and provides optimal seed-to-soil contact while reducing weeds and moisture loss. Visit Degelman.com for more information and to find an authorized dealer near you. Degelman, engineered tough.
There's our own Scott Lurch. He's checking the field before the game. This is about an hour before first pitch. He checked it out. He made sure everything's in order. Everything's looking good.
How is the field playing for you guys?
It's playing great for Scott Lurch, especially back in 1985 here at Corbett Field. American Legion legend Scott Lurch playing for Harvey.
That's incredible.
Chris Clayton and Mitch Kieran here with you on Beck. Camera operator Jesse Schwab and Scott Lurch. Our director Jordan Lowry back in our Beck studios along with Mick Tidrow. Bottom of the second, Sabre Dogs had the bases loaded with no one out in the first. Couldn't cash in. Casey Kosheva with a great defensive play, a double play, and then a strikeout. That's what got him out of the first.
The Sabre Dogs had that lone hit. It was Ben Newbert with a hit to left field, as they're going to offer strike one in the black outside. But it was Coach Kieran holding up Luis Pelayo, one of the speedier runners at third. But McCreary came up with a throw, so we already know they're going to might think about testing these outfielders.
The 1-1 lifted to the outfield, and under it to make the play is Jacob Griffin for out number 1.
Next is your catcher, number 12, Ben Levorsey.
That'll bring up Ben Levorsey, and he has been shot out of a cannon to start his career with Souris Valley. Talked about it earlier, Mitch, but in 5 games, he's hit .412 with 4 home runs coming out of Minnesota State. Lets the first pitch go by outside. It's 1-0.
Well, this is just a good baseball player. You know, he comes from a great winning program. He was phenomenal in the NSIC tournament where the Mavericks won the whole tournament over Augustana. So he knows what it's like to be on a winning team. And obviously, he's got a great baseball mindset.
And that pitch got a piece of him. So he'll take first base. And this is what gave Kosheva issues in the first inning, is a couple walks, getting base runners on. This time it's a hit by pitch to get a Sabre Dog on the back.
I think we have that as the 19th hit batter for Kosheva on the summer. So again, might be some issues with the command, but he still finds ways. Again, that was a big job well done to get himself out of a bases loaded jam in the first.
And he might have to do it again here. Brings up Eduardo Martinez, playing center field today. A big swing and a miss. Martinez out of Cochise Community College, junior college in Arizona. He's teammates there with Marco Azuna, another Souris Valley Sabre Dog. Now he's down 0-2.
He's a .314 hitter in the spring. No word yet on where he's heading for 4-year, but Marco Zuna going to the NAI level for Southeastern. And boy, are they getting quite the pitcher. 15 saves earned him a spot first-team All-American.
Might see Azuna on the mound later today for the Sabre Dogs. Here's the 0-2 to Martinez. The fist to the bat, hopper to first. Barraza's there. He throws to second for 1, and the throw to first is late. Gutsy decision by Barraza pays off.
Still a good job to get the lead runner. Again, surprising how Martinez was able to keep his hands inside that ground ball. If you have the chance and you have a good read, and Barraza did, he got the lead runner, so doesn't have a man in scoring position with 2 down, so still not a bad position to be in for Pierre.
It's Alex Crouch's turn for Souris Valley. A little bit of a slump. 6 games without a hit for Crouch. 0 for his last 22 during that stretch. It feels like a matter of time as the pickoff throw is late.
Absolutely. This is a guy that you know is just due. And we were battling a lot of wind, a lot of players just battling in near triple-digit heat in Sioux Falls. And that wind was blowing straight in from right. Now, Alex Crouch can really turn on a baseball. Just wasn't his day to do so.
Barraza thought they had him at first. Just a tad late. Just take a look here.
And they had his first movement heading towards second, but I think the height of Eddie Martinez, 6'5", just played in his favor right there.
Here's the pitch. Runner goes. Pitch is outside. No throw. Martinez in there safely.
Now again, take these summer numbers for what you will for Alex Crouch, but he still had a huge spring from Missouri Western, belted 16 home runs, jumped up into their record books. Definitely had quite the year at a D2 level. He already has shown off the strength twice with 2 home runs, only a matter of time before he comes around.
Yeah, those 16 homers were a school record. Do that at the Division II level. Nothing to scoff at. Wind is against him here if you want to talk home runs. It's 2-0. And now it's 3-0. Kosheva again into a hole.
I got to credit a lot of these Sabre Dog players again. They're already well coached before they get to Souris Valley. Many of them just know the strike zone. Eddie out there in second knows the zone very well. Crouch. Delanoy has a team high 15 walks. So they just find ways to get on base, but most of the time, as you look at the numbers, that 412 team batting average for the game, they like to do it with the bat.
That they do. Averaging 10.5 runs per game this season for Souris Valley. By far the best in the Expedition League. 3-1, popped in the air, behind home plate and off to the right. And it's a full count now.
Was able to get inside the hands on Crouch that time. Might have jammed him on a foul ball. Carson Trumpold had a good jump on. By the way, Carson Trumpold's one of Coach Kieran's former players out of Bismarck State College. A commit to Viterbo, so he's going to be in the North Star this next fall.
We talked about college teammates facing off against one another. How about Trumpold behind the dish for Trappers, like you said, going against his old head coach at BSC. The 3-2 out to right field, and there is the slump breaker. The hit for Alex Crouch. Martinez scores, and the Sabre Dogs are on the board in the first.
That's just a big example why you can't press in baseball. He finally got his pitch full count, and it came in a time where it was needed. Scored a run, got Souris Valley on the board first again early in the ball game. And all it takes is one. Let's see what Crouch can do to build off of that. I can already promise you he's probably going to make a good play or two at third. He is quite the defensive player that you want at that hot corner.
I made an offensive play too with the RBI single to get to the top of the order now with Luis Pelayo. First pitch misses the zone. It's 1-0. It was in a 6-game stretch for Alex Crouch with no hits. He was 0 for 22 in that stretch. Gotta feel good for him to get on base with a hit.
Oh, you know it does. We talk about players that Coach Kieran wanted before the summer. We talked with Pelayo after he was on a pretty good stretch for Souris Valley in the early goings, and he hasn't really come off of that stretch yet. He's still an incredible ball player, but he said he's wanted to play for Coach K for a long time now. He was originally signed to the Bancroft Bandits in 2020 before that team folded for COVID. Fast forward 2 years, and he's lighting it up for the Sabre Dogs.
Swing and a miss on the 2-0. Pelayo, originally from Santa Cruz, Aruba. Had a nice game on Sunday in the win over North Iowa. Went 3 for 4 with a triple and a run batted in. Kosheva throws in the 2-1. Runner goes, foul off to the left side. It's 2-2.
Got to mention a couple more instances last week where Luis came up huge in the clutch. I believe it was last Wednesday night. Game tied up at 1, and he drives in 2 runs. A similar situation after a couple of wild pitches from Nate Scott. Tie ball game at 1, and Louis clears the bases with a 2 RBI double. When his number's called upon, he likes to show up.
Keeps the at-bat going with another foul ball.
You also got to mention 410 out to straightaway center. Quite a difference between 316 down both foul lines. Hit a straightaway line drive that was legged out into an inside the park home run earlier.
And now he's got a single. So he gets that one down on the ground in left field. Back-to-back singles for Souris Valley.
Yeah, I just love that about Luis, too. He kind of reaches for that pitch outside, but no problem. He still finds a barrel, stays on plane. Just an easy stroke of the bat, throws the hands, and that's what you got to do with an outside pitch with 2 strikes. Just battle, but if it looks just like that, get yourself a hit.
Hunter Delanoy trying to extend his 16-game hit streak. Batting almost 500 this season. Ball 1. Walked in his first at-bat.
The type of hitter that just makes it look effortless. Just a very clean swing. You feed him anything over the heart of the plate, he's just going to take a nice stroke at it, but not that time. Looked a little low. Didn't look too bad for Kosheva now, but now he's got to settle back down here. Runners on first and second. Felt good with 2 outs. Martinez able to round them all and score on that crouch hit, as you see him now on second. Sabre Dogs trying to stack good at-bats with 2 outs.
A chopper to second. Seagraves up with it. Tosses on to second base for out number 3. Well, the Sabre Dogs get a run. Kosheva avoids too much disaster, but Souris Valley feeling good about where they're at, up a run.
This game on the Beck Sports Network is presented by the following: Farmers Union Insurance, Dakota Community Bank and Trust, Bell Bank, West Dakota Chevy Dealers, BASF, we create chemistry, Women's Way, Degelman Industries has been manufacturing reliable, high-performance equipment for over 55 years. See for yourself with the industry-leading Degelman Land Roller. Available in sizes from 20 to 80 feet, a Degelman Land Roller decreases downtime and fuel cost and provides optimal seed-to-soil contact while reducing weeds and moisture loss. Visit Degelman.com for more information and to find an authorized dealer near you. Degelman, engineered tough.
Well, here's what got the run for Souris Valley. It was an Alex Crouch RBI single out to right field.
Again, we were all pretty much just feeling it for him on that road trip. As we mentioned, he was hitless through 6 games. It was just only a matter of time. And those are the toughest times for hitters, just not to press. Many times throughout my career, I've heard you just got to flush it. You just got to flush those bricks, just move on. You just got to keep that same approach. And that's kind of what Crouch did. Got a pitch he liked, full count, and he delivered.
He brought home Martinez to put the Sabre Dogs up a run. 8-9-1 in the order coming up for Pierre as Carson Trumpold watches the first pitch go for strike 1. Again, we mentioned it last inning, but Trumpold going against his college head coach, Michael Kieran, skipper for the Sabre Dogs.
And that was a very talented ball club. You know, the Mondac Conference champs, they were just 1 series away from the JUCO World Series, but up and down 1 through 9. That was another group where he was able to recruit a lot of veteran players, a bit older, 20 to 21-year-olds at the JUCO level thanks to the COVID year, but they definitely showed out in the spring, and he's having himself more success here this summer.
Just tick foul. Bounced off of Lavorsky behind the dish. Yeah, that BSC team led by Michael Kieran. 2nd year in a row, the Mondac tournament champs. Michael Kieran doing a great job with that Bismarck State program.
Absolutely, able to help Trumpold get to Viterbo, help Torrey Nelson to VCSU, plus as well as Logan Grant, a very decorated program at Bellevue.
The 1-2 pitch out into right field. This is towards Delanoy. He's not able to get to it. Beautifully placed single for Carson Trumpold.
Again, that's a tough situation to be in. You get Brett Laura offering you a hot fastball in the outer half, but got his hands down low, barrel out front. Another good opposite field hit we've seen this game, this time for the Trappers. That's their first knock.
Trumpold coming in, batting .250 on the season. High school in Colorado Springs, Colorado. He'll have a runner on now for Jacob Griffin, the number 9 batter in the order. Griffin in a bit of a slump, hitless the last 3 games for him. He does lead the team in both runs batted in and home runs on the season with 2 of them. And he's ahead 2-0.
And again, you look towards the bottom of the lineup, a lot of successful hitters, they're able to just minimize the room for error. So if you're likely going to be seeing a lot more fastballs down closer to the bottom of the order, and he found one right there, drives a gap.
Deep to right center field. This one goes all the way to the wall. Trumpold racing towards third, and he will round third. The throw is off target. Trumpold scores. It's an RBI triple for Jacob Griffin.
So again, that is a picture-perfect 2-0 approach. You sit fastball, you sit for 1 speed in 1 spot, and he got it. And those, I tell you what, those RBI shots to the gap, those are almost many times just as satisfying as hitting it over the fence.
And maybe if the winds go in the proper direction, that does have a little bit of a chance. But there's a strong wind right at left field that slowed that one down a bit. Jacob Griffin will take it, adding to his team best RBI count now at 14 on the season.
And now all of a sudden, the pressure's on Brett Laura. You got the go-ahead run just 90 feet away and no outs on the board.
Hunter Brown swings at the 1-0, fouled off. Brown just finished up his freshman season at Modesto Community College, where he hit .273. Now RBI is in California. It's 1-1 now, rather 2-1.
He's got a good swing, just still waiting to settle in here. That 196 average, but here's a good opportunity to get the job done.
Again towards Delanoy near the foul line, and he's able to get to it for the first out, but the run scores. Pierre takes the lead here in the top of the third. Sac fly out to right, scoring Jacob Griffin.
Now that's a good job done for Hunter Brown, but I'm wondering, would that ball hit that deep to right field? Now they trade the out for the run. Maybe do you let that one go? Because, yeah, that if he caught it, that's got sacrifice fly written all over it. And just like that, it's a 2-1 lead now for the Trappers.
Delanoy finishing up. Long career at Wayne State, experienced player, decided to catch that last fly ball. This time he has a line drive drop in front of him. Another hit for Pierre. This time it's Noah McCreary with the single.
So now Pierre, they're starting to catch up to Brett Laura's velocity now that they got 1 trip through the order. They're really building here. Only got 1 out. And still 2 runs on the board here.
Runner goes, it's a ball. And a nice throw, but he's able to beat it. McCreary into second base. Throw from Lavorsi was a good one. Really challenged McCreary.
Yeah, great hustle. And again, he's able to take second on an NSIC arm and 1 that Coach Kieran gave a lot of praise to Lavorsi before coming to Souris Valley for his defensive efforts. But little did we know what he'd have to offer at the plate as well. Had 9 home runs in the spring, so definitely a strong hitter, but we didn't think he'd get nearly to the halfway mark this soon.
Beautiful breaking ball. Makes it 1-1 against Hawk. Hawk grounded out to short in the first. Line drive to left field towards Palaio. Racing after it, and he makes the catch. For out number 2, confusion. The scoreboard had 2 outs. That's how many outs McCreary thought there were, and it's a double play to end the inning.
That is tough.
And that'll do it for the top half of the third. The Trappers, though, do take the lead with a couple runs.
This game on the Beck Sports Network is presented by the following: Farmers Union Insurance, Dakota Community Bank and Trust, Val Bank, West Dakota Chevy Dealers, BASF, we create chemistry, Women's Way, Degelman Industries has been manufacturing reliable, high-performance equipment for over 55 years. See for yourself with the industry-leading Degelman Land Roller. Available in sizes from 20 to 80 feet, a Degelman Land Roller decreases downtime and fuel cost and provides optimal seed-to-soil contact while reducing weeds and moisture loss. Visit Degelman.com for more information and to find an authorized dealer near you. Degelman, engineered tough.
Back in Minot for the bottom of the third. Top of the third, successful for Pierre. They get a couple runs on the board, stacking a single, a triple, and then a sac fly RBI to go up 2-1.
Yeah, that was a very good offensive inning for Pierre, and it was just a little bit of unawareness. And again, it was a scoreboard error that cut it off early, but the way they're able to just drive, line drive, barrel shot, just continuing to stack those in consecutive at-bats. You know, Pierre, I think they turned a few heads that inning.
There's Jacob Griffin with the RBI triple. Hunter Brown with the sac fly RBI. McCreary was thrown out at second base thinking there were 2 outs. There was actually only 1. So it ended up with a double play to end that inning. 3, 4, 5 in the order coming up for Souris Valley. Ben Newbert fouls off the first pitch.
So now the pressure's on Souris Valley. Now they find themselves trailing quickly for the first time after getting that 1-0 lead. A good part of the order up, 3, 4, 5.
And now it's 1-1.
And we've already seen good stuff out of Ben Newbert. You mentioned how Coach Kieran found him out in the Prospect League, but Bloomsburg, it was an incredible 22 home runs and a .348 average.
Now he's ahead 2-1. School record of those 22 home runs. Bloomsburg. That's a Division II school. It's high-level baseball. And Newbert sent it out 22 times. He's got the wind aiding him here. The 80 with the wind gusting to left, just past the glove of Rich at third base. But it did go foul anyway.
Yeah, you can't give him much of anything middle in to work with. He's a very dangerous hitter. He stays very patient back there. He does a great job keeping his weight back, but then he just fires those hands very violently. Just turned on it, but just a hair too soon. Foul ball.
Good effort by Rich at third. At bat continues for Newbert. Big swing on the 2-2 and he goes down. Second strikeout now for Kosheva.
Well, Kosheva mixed up the speed very well. Might have been a changeup or a breaker up at the letters. Now that's a tough pitch to get on plane with. And Newbert took the bait there with 2 strikes. Tough break.
Here's Diesel. Chris Monroe hit into a double play on a chopper to the mound with the bases loaded in the first inning. Called strike at the knees. It's 0-1.
Another very patient hitter. Might have thought that one more closer to the chalk, but not a bad pitch to start off Monroe. Just challenging him, going hard inside.
Way outside on the 0-1.
Now Monroe's a guy that just translates to summer ball very well. Another guy that hit very well in the Prospect League, a former Lafayette Aviator before Coach Kieran was there, but knew him for the Traverse City Pit Spitters, a Northwoods League All-Star just a summer ago.
Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. Kosheva mixing it up pretty well now.
He's starting to get a little more confident out there. He's got a lead in his back, a little more command, so he's able to mix up the pitches, and he's doing so against 2 of the more powerful bats in the order.
Called strike 3. Got him looking. Back-to-back Ks for Kosheva.
I knew it right away. Just froze him. Yeah, a bit of a breaking ball right there. Great pitch with 2 strikes.
You remember in the first and even second inning, it was consistent 2-0, 3-0 starts to the at-bat. Now Kosheva starting to find it. On the first pitch, cruise to center field, right to Mueller, though, for out number 3. Quick work by Kosheva. It's 2-1 Trappers as we head to the 4th on Beck.
This game on the Beck Sports Network is presented by the following: Farmers Union Insurance, Dakota Community Bank and Trust, Bell Bank, West Dakota Chevy Dealers, BASF, we create chemistry, Women's Way, Degelman Industries has been manufacturing reliable, high-performance equipment for over 55 years. See for yourself with the industry-leading Degelman Land Roller. Available in sizes from 20 to 80 feet, a Degelman Land Roller decreases downtime and fuel cost and provides optimal seed-to-soil contact while reducing weeds and moisture loss. Visit Degelman.com for more information and to find an authorized dealer near you. Degelman, engineered tough.
Watch out. One of them stalled out. They had a race going, and there was a heavy head start, but with the assistance there of Jesus Rojas, the other guy caught up.
Yeah,
there it is. There's the start. Stalled out.
Very good start. Looks over the shoulder, leaving him in the dust. There's fun for the whole family here at Corbin Field.
This is a beautiful facility for Summer League baseball. Souris Valley, the best team in the Expedition League this season, sitting at 20-1. Good crowd on hand here on a little bit of a cooler summer day.
They're being a little bit challenged here early out of the gates. Now, top of the 4th, Pierre is coming off a very solid 3rd inning. Able to get 3 base hits and a pair of runs to put pressure on the Sabre Dogs here in their first game in over a week back at Corbin Field.
4, 5, 6 in the order up here for Pierre. Barraza's up ahead, 2-0 now. Well, Souris Valley is 7-0 this season against the Trappers. Plenty of motivation for Pierre, as a lot of those games weren't even very close.
Again, you look at 6 of those were played here in Minot, and then the next day, 1 game down at Hyde Stadium, an 18-0 defeat for the Sabre Dogs. So they have their number, but the Trappers, they're just going to try to keep playing them tough. That's what they're doing here. They're doing the little things right.
Souris Valley, a great measuring stick for those rest of the league. Those 3 teams is how they match up with the Sabre Dogs. Part of the growth of this Pierre team under Jamie Habiger in his 2nd season. Just past the glove of a diving Crouch at 3rd. Could be extra bags for Barraza, and it is. All the way to the corner. Anthony Barraza, leadoff double for the Trappers.
Now, he didn't give up that at bat. Get discouraged down to 2 strikes. Gets a pitch low, just gets on plane early, and Alex Crouch just missing that by inches, but Barraza, another extra base hit for the Trappers, and coming off a 10-pitch inning for Kosheva, they're starting to build a little something here.
And you love to see that for Barraza. 4 games in a row, he came away without a hit in an 0-for-12 stretch. He just broke that streak and picked up his 3rd double of the season. Now Seagraves trying to get something going here for Pierre. Looking Barraza back to second base.
That was Brett Laura, who was very dominant through the first 2 innings, but now he's going to try to get the upper hand back against Pierre. They're starting to get on top of his speed. There's a good job done.
Bouncer to Monroe, steps on first for the first out. That will advance Barraza to 3rd, though.
Again, any ground ball hit to the right side, that's just almost every time that's got to be an automatic advance to 3rd. So again, another good situation for the Trappers to be in offensively. They got Mueller up. The 3rd run of the game on 3rd.
Meeting on the mound here for the Sabre Dogs. Good sign here for the Trappers. Really competitive on the road. It's a Pierre team that started the season 4-3. Since then, they've gone 3-12. Some of that has to do with how the scheduling has worked out. Having to play Souris Valley 7 times doesn't help. But a very young team showing their growth over the course of the season.
Now again, a lot of these players, not just Souris Valley, but you could say the same for Pierre as well as Red River and North Iowa. They've been away from home for quite some time here, so now they just got to get back on track here. Coach Kieran called in the entire infields. They got the day off yesterday, but now they got to get their heads back in the game a little bit.
A rare day off, maybe throwing off the routine a little bit for this team. Hey, speaking of routine, dance routine out there.
Wow.
Swing and a miss. First pitch to Maddox Mueller. It's a good guy to have up if you're Pierre. Hitting .411 in his last 5 games played. The 0-1 chopped to third, and that's a foul ball as well. It's 0-2. Mueller with a really nice at-bat in the second inning. Eventually did strike out. He's still alive here, 1-2.
It's still a pretty modest lead for Pierre, 2-1, but ahead on Souris Valley, applying the pressure. I think a lot of these guys want to be in this situation after losing out the first 7, but got caught in the outer half that time.
4th strikeout now for Brett Laura.
Stay within. Brett's just got to go after these hitters. Is challenging. You got to have a little bit of trust in the defense.
Colby Rich also struck out in the second. Laura aggressively gunning it in, and it's 0-1. Working with some more pace now. And it's 0-2.
Just working outside away from Rich. Got him to chase on one in the other box. That time he watches a fastball in the black. 0-2. Laura going to try to bring an abrupt end to this 4th.
Just got a piece of it to keep himself alive. Colby Rich 0 for his last 6. Going back to this last weekend in Sioux Falls. 263 batting average on the season.
Along with Luis Pelayo, coming out of a great program for USAO. Wants to be in control.
And it's 1-2 now.
You know, many of these guys are coming from great programs. Plenty of consistent 30-plus win springs.
2nd strikeout in a row for Brett Laura, and that'll end the top of the 4th. Some dangerous runners on the bags for the Trappers. Nothing doing. Back-to-back Ks for Laura.
Hey y'all, it's Trent on the loose. I'm a 6th generation farmer, husband, patriot, father. And as much as I'd love to just sit here under this shade tree and celebrate my own place on my front porch, truth of the matter is that people don't know who, where, and how is producing their food. So travel the country with Trent on the loose, and we'll find those interesting human interest stories behind the people that bring us the efficient food supply. Trent on the loose.
This game on the Beck Sports Network is presented by the following: Farmers Union Insurance, Dakota Community Bank and Trust, Bell Bank, West Dakota Chevy Dealers, BASF, we create chemistry, Women's Way,
Corbett Field on a beautiful summer night in Minot, North Dakota. Pierre Trappers on the road, coming in with a 2-1 lead at the Sabre Dogs. Nothing to scoff at what the Trappers have been able to do. Obviously, you want to win the game, it's just the 4th inning, but Souris Valley has really dominated opponents this season, and after a little bit of a shaky start, Casey Kosheva and the Trappers are playing well.
Absolutely, and there have been many different ways Souris Valley has had to win ball games this year. You know, not every day are they going to throw up literal touchdowns on the scoreboard, but there have been a handful of come-from-behind victories, 2 of which were last week. So the Sabre Dogs, without a doubt, they are being challenged. They are being, you know, highlighted on these other teams' schedules, as these are tougher games, and these would be big wins to take away from them. So, again, they're in another challenging situation here. They got to, sooner than later, start to get in a rhythm offensively.
Barlow with a half grounder to short. Brown comes up with it. Long throw, not able to get there. Jake Barlow leads off the bottom of the 4th with a single for Souris Valley.
I'm a big fan of Jake Barlow. Coming from a very solid D2 Delta State, and he has had a prolific career for them. He's just a guy that just plays the game hard. Only 5'8", but really a beast. You know, he hits a lot of home runs, makes a lot of great plays at second base, and right there, he runs with intent on the base paths.
Yeah, you mentioned those home runs. It was his speed that time that got him on to first, but 45 career home runs at Delta State, 3rd in school history. 4 home runs this season for Souris Valley.
It was actually on Sunday. We had wind blowing in about 30 miles an hour in Sioux Falls. Now, that still might have hindered right-handed batters, but he still found a way to hit one out in a professional ballpark.
Lavorsy gives this one a ride down the right field line, and it's out of play. I think the wind slowed that one down. Looked powerful off the bat.
Yeah, that thing shot straight off the barrel, and everybody's head turned on that one. Corbett Field has been great for Ben Lavorsy on swings like that.
His season debut, June 12th, just 9 days ago against Red River. 3 for 4, 3 home runs in that game. Pitch misses outside, runner goes for second, and Barlow is on safely.
Now again, Barlow's up there with some of the team high stolen bases for the Sabre Dogs, but that time Carson Trumpholtz, again we're calling his name, he delivered a strike to second. Now Barlow almost overcompensated heading to the bag, almost slid off, but still stays on, and he's able to steal it. But a challenging throw from Carson.
Barlow now with a team best 9 stolen bases on the season.
So again, after that foul ball, Kosheva misses with a pair of balls, and he's going to think twice about offering up one for Lavorsy to turn on like he just did to start off this at bat.
Here's the 2-1. Swinging a line drive to right center field into the gap, and that'll score a run. Barlow all the way around, touches home plate, and it's 2-all in the bottom of the 4th. RBI double for Lavorsy.
Now you could say the same for about many of these batters, but you can't feed them too many mistakes. A fastball over the heart of the plate, and he finds the right center gap. And he's able to just trade spots with Barlow very nicely, and we're all tied up at 2. And the Sabre Dogs still got a goose egg for outs.
What a season for Lavorsy. In his 6th game with the Sabre Dogs, now has 7 RBIs, and that's already his 2nd double. First pitch to Martinez is outside. He's also playing in his 6th game with Souris Valley, batting .294 in his time so far in Minot. Kosheva down now 2-0.
What I like about Martinez, a bigger guy, so you might be looking at a bigger zone, but he knows it well. He's not going to go chasing on many pitches. He's able to see them early, and I have not really seen him take a swing that's really out of the norm for him. He's able to just stay within his approach.
And now it's 3-0. Saw a lot of this in the first inning. Some struggles with Kosheva, keeping it in the zone. Trying to avoid compounding issues here in the bottom of the 4th. Seen some huge explosive innings for Souris Valley this season.
Well, Martinez stays disciplined right there. It's really been a toss-up when you get a 3-0 count. Now, I'm a big fan of just take the pitch.
Yeah.
You know, you learn from experience. Even if you just get under one, it's a pitch you just want back immediately. But you're still in a good situation here, even if you do take 3 balls, 1 strike. You're still way ahead in the count.
And here's the 3-1. Well inside. Ball 4. Couple runners on, still nobody out in the bottom of the 4th.
And another good position here for Alex Crouch. 1 for 1, and he drove in the first run of this game, and it was much needed. So hopefully this gives him a little bit of confidence here. Still no outs, and still an opportunity to get a big job done.
3rd walked batter of the game so far from Kosheva. Crouch shows bunt, lets it go by. Both runners able to advance on the pass ball.
That one well inside. Crouch able to just easily let that one go. Good. Not a bad call there to try to manufacture a better position for run support. But now Crouch has an even better position to be in. 2 ducks in the pond, both in scoring position, no outs. He's got to be thinking 1 pitch and just try to drive it.
And now here's the 1-0. Finds the outer edge, and it's 1-1.
Now we're starting to see a little bit more of this, Chris. The umpire's given a little more love on the outer half, even a little off the plates. So you can kind of expand the zone a little bit, but not early in the count. With 2 strikes, then you know, all right, got to battle up here, think bigger zone.
And now it's 2-1. It bounces off the backstop, and the run scores with Ben Lavorsi. Heady base running, seeing that ball go by, and he puts the Sabre Dogs up 3-2.
And just tough for Kosheva. You mentioned again, starting to get a little bit around the zone. And before the game, we said you cannot give these Sabre Dogs too much to work with. Not quite an error, but a wild pitch. Again, that's a bit of a mental error. You just can't give up easy runs like that, because then give them an inch, they might take a mile.
Crouch got ahead of that one. Fouls it off 2-2. His RBI single in the 2nd was out to right field as well. He's got Martinez over on 3rd.
Infield trying to shade a little bit inside. They're thinking on their bellies, trying to keep it in the infield.
Here's the 2-2. Lifted out to left field. McCreary racing back for it. Towards the wall. And it's off the wall. Easily scores Martinez. Crouch with a stand-up RBI double.
And how about that, Alex Crouch? Have yourself a day. 2 for 2 with a pair of runs batted in. This time he goes Oppo with it. Oppo Taco off the wall for a double. That's just a great approach to keep those hands inside. Again, just drive the ball, almost send it out of here.
How about that? A 0 for 22 stretch for Crouch. That is how you break out of a slump. An RBI single and an RBI double. And that brings Jamie Habiger out.
It was just only a matter of time before Alex Crouch came around. You know, you look at his spring numbers, you look at his sustained success. He's had a Missouri Western, and he got off to a pretty good start. And he's still playing the game hard. You mentioned, you know, this great defensive play. He's still laying out for balls. He's not pressing too hard. And finally, now you're going to have a little confidence set in, and we're going to see more at-bats like that, I feel.
He makes it 4-2. Trying to add to what's already a 3-run bottom of the 4th for Souris Valley. To the top of the order now with Luis Pelayo.
Starting to see some action in the Pierre bullpen as Kosheva already up to 71 pitches. Looks like a right-hander warming up.
Kosheva fires in the pitch, swinging a foul ball on the left side. Out of play and into the street here, bordering Corbett Field.
Now again, the Expedition League a bit smaller this year, so you're going to see a lot of familiarity. It's the 2nd start for Kosheva against the Sabre Dogs, and there's a good chance already through those first 7 games you already saw most of their bullpen, if not all of it.
It's 1-1 now. An 8th matchup of the year between these two teams, and they'll play again tomorrow as well. 16 games remaining on the schedule this season for Souris Valley. In the regular season, that is. Chopper towards second to Seagraves. Tosses on to first just in time. Barraza able to glove it for out number 1. But Crouch advances to third on the fielder's choice.
Again, this time that's the job getting done. And Palaio almost legging out the hard 90 for the single. But a bang play. Pierre able to still stay within. Able to trade the out for another 90 feet for Alex Crouch. And we're still hoping for lucky number 17 for this guy right here.
16 game hitting streak on the line here in the bottom of the 4th. Delanoy got it. 17 games in a row with Hunter Delanoy racking up a hit. This time it's an RBI double to put Souris Valley up 5-2.
You know, Hunter Delanoy, he just has such, he's so level-headed here in the game. He's very confident, knows his ability, knows what he's able to do with the baseball. First pitch, he sees it, he likes it, bangs it down the line and right. I'm not even sure he has the hitting streak on his mind. He's just living for the next pitch.
He's just playing.
And he's playing well.
He brought Alex Crouch home. Newbert with a big swing and a miss.
Ben Newbert, just a guy who won't be cheated. He's going to be swinging for the fences on pretty much almost every hack he takes.
3 home runs in the season so far. Lets that one go by, and it's 1-1.
Going back to just over a week ago, last weekend, able to walk things off against the Red River Pilots in the bottom of the 9th.
A shot here to short. Brown bobbles it. Saw that issue. A couple errors Sunday in Pierre's loss to Red River. That's their 2nd error of this game now.
Again, that was a sharply hit ball again. When Newbert turns on one, he ropes it. He does it this time. Just takes maybe a couple of hot bounces. And he might have just taken his eye off it a little bit there. I kind of rush himself over to the hole to cover that ball. Well, I'm sure you might be kicking yourself not to turn that into an out. Slow down these Sabre Dogs.
Hunter Brown's been consistent at short this year for the Trappers. He's finished up his freshman season at Modesto Community College, a young player. Picking up the error there. And now here's Chris Monroe with teammates on 1st and 2nd for the Sabre Dogs. Big drive out to left field, well out of play. They call him Diesel. And that shot is an example why. Straightens that out a little bit, and it is well gone.
Now, I mentioned throughout many of these matchups this year, it's a lot of times experience versus youth. Well, Chris Monroe, quite literally a man among boys. 6'5", 250, very friendly guy, but just a booming low voice and just a big presence of a guy. And clearly he's turning into power at the plate as well.
Another powerful swing, fouls it off. It's 0-2.
Not quite the start he was hoping for here, but the past week he hit almost 700, almost got a hit in 70% of his at-bats. First swing he had on the road at Bancroft, gone to straightaway center.
Throw to second. Pushes Delanoy back to the bag. Ben Newbert also over on 1st for Souris Valley. Chris Monroe played his college ball at Central Michigan. Division I player. His senior season hit .207 in the MAC. Pitch is high and it's 1-2.
And I've talked about just his competitive edge, and not even just at the plate with intent on every pitch, but also he will lay out for balls defensively. He was barreling into the wall at the birdcage on Sunday, got right back up, and we're all thinking, you okay? Yeah, just like that. I thought that might have hit him, but yeah, he's not afraid of a little contact.
Looked like he was on his way to hitting him, just missed.
Yeah, look back.
Right under his arm. 2-2 now. Kosheva fires. Swing and a miss. Kosheva with another strikeout. That's his fourth, and he needed that one.
Number 22.
Yeah, that's just a big pitch right there. You get it out in the outer half. It just runs away from Monroe that time, forces him to reach for it. A good pitch against a good hitter. So Kosheva trying to smack down here, stop the bleeding with this 5-2 score.
The lefty Dason Cruz steps in. Line drive on the first pitch, foul. It's 0-1.
Now this is another guy who's come around very nicely for Souris Valley. They didn't quite have the best first game, but since then he's just slowly stacked and stacked, great game after great game, and also another guy with a batting average of over 600 this past week alone.
He pops up the 0-1 pitch high in the air. It gets to the outfield. And the left fielder McCreary gloves it for out number 3. 4 runs, though, for Souris Valley in the bottom of the fourth, building a 5-2 lead.
Hey y'all, it's Trent on the loose. I'm a 6th generation farmer, husband, patriot, father. And as much as I'd love to just sit here under this shade tree and celebrate my own place on my front porch, truth of the matter is that people don't know who, where, and how is producing their food. So travel the country with Trent on the loose, and we'll find those interesting human interest stories behind the people that bring us the efficient food supply. Trent on the loose.
This game on the Beck Sports Network is presented by the following: Farmers Union Insurance, Dakota Community Bank and Trust, Bell Bank, West Dakota Chevy Dealers, BASF, we create chemistry, Women's Way,
A single and 3 doubles for Souris Valley in the bottom of the fourth to put 4 runs on the board, and the Sabre Dogs all of a sudden up 5-2.
Yeah, the pressure on them didn't last long. Quickly they turned the tables. As you see right there, they were handed a handful of mistakes with those wild pitches, but then guys just stepping up in times when they were needed. And Alex Crouch already the difference maker here as he's feeling himself 2 for 2 on a pair of runs batted in. And of course also Ben Lavorsi and Hunter Delanoy with RBI doubles as well.
5-2 lead for the Sabre Dogs now as we head to the 5th inning, and Brett Laura's still out there. His first start of the season. He's only pitched 10 innings coming into this game in 5 appearances, so we were wondering how would his stamina hold up. 55 pitches in, and it's looking good so far for Brett Laura and the Sabre Dogs.
Look at that slider right there, coming in crisp and plenty of movement, just rolled right off the table. And I think for a lot of these guys, you know, they're just trying to go out there and extend their baseball playing careers beyond this summer.
Here's the 0-2, swing and a miss, and Brett Laura is on a roll now. The last 3 batters he's sent down with a strikeout.
And again, Laura, he's just got a great array of pitches, and he just goes out there and competes every time he steps foot on the mound. So now he's trying to put his stamina to the test. Already got him up to 57 pitches, probably the most he's thrown all summer in a single game. But he's not looking to slow down anytime soon.
Jacob Griffin, RBI triple in the 3rd inning to get one of the Trappers 2 runs. Big swing on that pitch, and it's 0-2. Foul tick.
And it was a tough third and 4th inning, I would say, because they were able to leave runners stranded in scoring position in the 4th. But then Coach Kieran had to go out there and kind of say, guys, we got to focus up here. Trying to stumble here in these early innings, but now I think Laura's starting to establish a little bit of confidence. Got that 3-run lead back, and already offering up a pair of Ks here in the 5th.
Going back to the 4th, 4 Ks in a row, and look at that strike to ball ratio. Aggressive today.
It's very tenacious. Just, you gotta love these guys that just play the game hard.
Another strike to the top of the order now with Hunter Brown. Trappers were in a good position, up 2-1 to the bottom of the 4th. Sounds wild to say. Not a lot of teams have been able to say that this year against a dominant Souris Valley team. High fly ball to center field, gloved by Martinez for out number 3. Quick work for Brett Laura and the Sabre Dogs, up 5-2.
Howdy folks, it's a Line Cafe. I reckon it's time you're due for a hearty meal. So saddle up for the day with one of our Hey Boston breakfast homemade soups. Fill your grill at a salad bar, sink your teeth into our famous Line burger and barbecue ribs. Top it off with spur rattling pie with a cum roll that's sure to put a smile on even the toughest outlaws. Shake the dirt off the boots each night and warm up with the gang. Tell them about it, Stacy.
I can't wait to see you at the county line.
Hey y'all, it's Trent on the loose. I'm a 6th generation farmer, husband, patriot, father. And as much as I'd love to just sit here under this shade tree and celebrate my own place on my front porch, truth of the matter is that people don't know who, where, and how is producing their food. So travel the country with Trent on the loose, and we'll find those interesting human interest stories behind the people that bring us the efficient food supply. Trent on the loose.
Doesn't get any better than summer baseball. The kids, all kinds of activities here at Corbett Field. Bounce house. Got a pitching game over there. Have kids dancing, kids driving on the field. Great crowd here at Corbett Field. This Expedition League matchup between the Sabre Dogs and the Trappers. Chris Clayton and Mitch Kieran here with you on Beck. Scott Lurch and Jesse Schwab, our camera operators. Jordan Lowry, our director, back in our Beck studios with Nick Tidrow.
And this park opened up in 1938, I believe, and it's just been sustained beautifully. They were able to get this all-turf field in here. It once had flooding up to the fences, but the fact that it still stands and it still looks this beautiful today is really remarkable.
Big drive here from Jake Barlow out towards right center field. A dangerous spot, but a sliding catch. Maddox Mueller in center field.
I told you early, Chris. Pierre takes a lot of hits away from Souris Valley. That one was heading deep in the gap, sliding on the knees. Mueller, smooth. And that is a very outstanding grab in center field.
He's finished his senior season of Whitewater High School in Georgia. Committed to play for Andrew College in Cuthbert, Georgia. Heck of an athlete there.
Oh, that is collegiate level range out there in center.
Ben Lavorsi with a chance now for Souris Valley. What a game he's had. Hit by a pitch and an RBI double as well. Scored a run. And he's up 2-0.
A very built batter. Again, he's got a nice, powerful swing from the left side. Able to belt a home run to the left center part of the field this past week in Bancroft. But he stays disciplined right there. Didn't like that pitch 2-0, so held off. Still up in the count 2-1.
And the pitch count now up to 89 for Casey Kosheva. Big swing on the 2-1 pitch. A fly ball out to shallow left center field. Called off by McCreary. The left fielder makes the grab for out number 2.
Up next, center fielder number 23, Eddie Martinez.
So again, an experienced D2 hitter. It's just a challenge for many of these pitchers, just trying to find ways to just try to find the answer to a lot of these hitters, as they've seen top of the line pitching. Now again, a guy like Ben Lavorsi, Minnesota State, the NSIC, we know how competitive that is here in this local area. Plus, this is the home of the Minot State Beavers, but in a lot of these younger arms, they're going against some guys that have stood out at very good programs.
There's the 1-0 to Martinez. Line drive right up the middle. First hit of the game, third time on base for Eduardo Martinez.
Up next for your Sabre Dogs, It's your third baseman, number 7.
The tall hitter, 6'5", does a good job reaching low for this one. A pitch coming down towards the knees, gets on plane early, strokes it right off of the Corbett Field logo in center. Very good approach, just thinking right back up the middle.
Here's the dangerous Alex Crouch. 2 RBIs in this game, a single and a double. Called strike on the outer edge.
And plenty of space off the plate, so we're starting to see that a little consistently for both offensive sides here. Mentioned that earlier, just gotta know the zone, gotta establish an idea for that after your first at bat. But with no strikes, that's a pitch you can let go by.
Runner goes, pitches outside, Trumpled, not able to glove that one. Now Martinez into second safely.
Now Crouch, again, a pretty disciplined hitter. He's not going to be chasing early in the count if he doesn't like it. We've already seen him lay off a couple of fastballs on the outer half. 1-1.
And now it's 0-2. Rather 1-2, excuse me.
Yeah, so now Kasheva is trying to throw outside to a lot of these SaberDog hitters for a lot of them to reach for. We've already seen Monroe and a couple others, just like on that last pitch, go reaching for an outside pitch. He's definitely not trying to throw right at them.
Here is that 1-2. Just a tad outside to even the count. You mentioned it. Great experience for a young pitcher like Kosheva, going against an experienced Souris Valley team. That big portion of this roster to finish their final years of college baseball. 2-2, swung on, left side, foul territory, and out of play. That's something that head coach Michael Kieran has credited as to part of the reason for their success is the the dancing, of course. That's a big reason for it, but also the urgency of these SaberDogs players as they try to extend their baseball careers. They know they need to perform this summer.
Yeah, well, at one point Ben Newbert said a lot of these guys are playing for their baseball lives, so only a matter of time. I mean, selfishly, I'm hoping they stay here the entire summer and then find a team, but swing and a miss there for Crouch. But again, a lot of these guys, you know, they could definitely find a spot on many indie teams.
They're up 5-2 now.
Beautiful day to get out on the course, isn't it, Corey?
Without a doubt, Brian. And Scotty here was thinking the exact same thing.
There's a lot on the line for him today. He told his friends he's a scratch golfer, but the numbers today suggest otherwise. Ooh, swing and a miss.
Looks like he's excited to find that Titleist. Unfortunately, he was playing with Mojos.
Ooh, and a major infraction just occurred. Can we get another look at that?
As from my angle, it looks like he's got about a 10, 12-foot putt, slightly.
Howdy, folks. It's a Canine Cafe. I reckon it's time you're due for a hearty meal. So saddle up for the day with one of our Hey Bossin breakfast homemade soups. Fill your grill at a salad bar. Sink your teeth into our famous Canine burger and barbecue ribs. Top it off with spur rattling pie with a cum roll that's sure to put a smile on even the toughest outlaws. Shake the dirt off the boots each night and warm up with the gang. Tell them about it, Stacy.
I can't wait to see you at the county line.
Back in Minot, Pierre Trappers finding themselves down 5-2. Happy to have you along with us. SaberDogs baseball here on Beck. We'll have coverage of a number of Souris Valley baseball games here this summer on Beck. Live from Corbett Field in Minot. Beautiful facility. A little bit of a cooler day, below 70 degrees. The wind has died down a bit. Really gusting the first few innings of this game.
And earlier in the afternoon, we were wondering if we were going to see some rain start to hinder the quality of game we were going to see, but sun's out and not a bad night. A little bit of a summer breeze in the air.
McCreary down 0-1 after the foul ball. Helps to have such a beautiful turf field.
Yep.
Earlier wind didn't affect things too much here.
While we're on the topic of weather, too, a lot of these guys were playing in near 100-degree temperatures all of last week, as I'm sure it was for most of the Midwest. But down in Bancroft, Sioux Falls, yeah, up to 99 at times.
It's a welcome sight and feeling for these players and coaches.
Absolutely.
Beautiful conditions here today in Minot. Brett Laura, his first start of the season, rolling on here into the 6th inning. 1-2 advantage against McCreary. Just a tad high. He's racked up 7 strikeouts today, Laura has.
Now, had we known he had this this stamina, I think he might have had a job in the starting role.
There's K number 8. Got him swinging there. Noah McCreary goes down.
Yeah, he's really not slowing down at all. It's a slider, runs well away from the plate, gets into chase. Again, maybe he opened up the zone just a little too much that time. Caught him swinging at a good pitch up in the count for strike 3.
Well, we mentioned he's been really good this year as a relief pitcher, as a slow grounder to second with Barlow, on to first to Monroe for out number 2. In relief this season, Laura, the 1.80 ERA, 3 saves, but just his ratio this year is that time he induced a ground ball, but now 20 strikeouts to only 2 walks. Consistent, nice command, having one of his best games of the season from the mound so far for Souris Valley.
And where he stands currently with this game included, 15 2/3, and with those 20 strikeouts, many of these pitchers, their strikeouts really kind of dwarfs the number of innings that they've thrown. So again, this is looking at not just a dominating hitting team, but also pitching. Those guys go out there and they're just very tough to really get in a rhythm against.
Ball 1 to Barraza. Souris Valley on the season allowing just under 2 runs per game. It's the best mark in the Expedition League. 5 shutouts on the season. Won't be the case today, but you know, we talk a lot about Sabre Dogs offense and their explosiveness up and down the order, but the defense and the pitching has been stellar this year as well.
Absolutely. Jacob Wesselman was the deemed ace, got the opening day start, and he was perfect all the way up until, well, even through this past week, getting the win on the road at Bancroft this past Wednesday. But his work got him a pro contract with the Grand Junction Rockies. So
yeah, he was so good that he was signed to the Pioneer League.
Yes.
But in some great work, the Sabre Dogs. 2-2 pitch, fouled just out of play.
So we want to congratulate Jacob Wesselman again personally, just for when he was here, he was lights out. A team high. That's still the team high, even if he was here with 38. Thomas Gutierrez is right behind him with 36. You got Reed Butts up there in the conversation as well, but plenty of guys just dominating.
And the other pro wasn't a pitcher, but the other player recently, we talked about it earlier, but for Souris Valley, signed to a professional contract in the Pioneer League, Cameron Willman, playing for the Missoula Paddleheads.
He joins another coach, Kieran Product, who's actually really lighting it up for the Paddleheads. Got a batting average just shy of under 400, about 9 home runs. A guy named Jason Newman. He was referred to as the body, a lot like Chris Monroe this past summer for the Lafayette Aviators. A grown man out there who could hit the ball a mile long.
Those are some great nicknames. Diesel, it's Chris Monroe, the body.
Yes.
I feel like when you're that big and you can swing like that, you just kind of have to find a nickname.
Oh, yes.
Those two have. Full count to Anthony Barraza. Laura delivers. Swing and a miss, and it's strikeout number 9 for Brett Laura.
Beautiful day to get out on the course, isn't it, Corey?
Without a doubt, Brian. And Scotty here was thinking the exact same thing.
There's a lot on the line for him today. He told his friends he's a scratch golfer, but the numbers today suggest otherwise. Ooh, swing and a miss.
Looks like he's excited to find that Titleist. Unfortunately, he was playing with Mojos.
Ooh, and a major infraction just occurred. Can we get another look at that?
As from my angle, it looks like he's got about a 10, 12-foot putt, slightly.
Howdy, folks. It's a Caroline Cafe. I reckon it's time you're due for a hearty meal. So saddle up for the day with one of our Hey Bossin' breakfast and homemade soups. Fill your grill at our salad bar. Sink your teeth into our famous Caroline burger and barbecue ribs. Top it off with spur rattling pie with a calm roll that's sure to put a smile on even the toughest outlaws. Shake the dirt off the boots each night and warm up with the gang. Tell them about it, Stacy.
I can't wait to see you at the county line.
Back at Corbett Field, 5-2 lead for Souris Valley over the Trappers. The Sabre Dogs trying to extend on a 16-game winning streak, and they'll continue on here in the 7th against a new pitcher. It's Tynan Shahidi. Plays some first base for the Trappers. This is his first pitching appearance of the season. Played his college ball at Tennessee Tech this last season. Getting a chance to show his stuff on the mound against the best offense in the Expedition League and the Sabre Dogs.
Absolutely. He just debuted for the Trappers on the road for them last week. And first pitch, Luis Pelayo finds a gap.
All the way to left center field. This one bounces over for a ground rule double. Luis Pelayo was second hit of the game. And a great start for Souris Valley against the new arm.
Again, I got to mention this, another familiar name. Tynan Shahidi played with Coach Kieran on a team called Those Guys in Bancroft. While he couldn't get the Bandits together, found a lot of local guys, and Shahidi was one of them, as well as first base coach Chris Witzke, a Humboldt, Iowa product, a teammate of Joel Barker at Harding University, but he wanted to get his coaching chops in, so a lot of familiar guys coming to the Expedition League. Now, Shahidi primarily a batter, but this is interesting here. Just misses at the letters to Hunter Delanoy after the ground rule double by Pelayo.
Yeah, and for Shahidi, he's done a nice job offensively for this Trappers team, hitting .273 on the year. Throws in the 1-0, foul ball on the left side off the bat of Delanoy. Delanoy able to extend his hitting streak to 17 games. An RBI double in the 4th. So he's got that off his chest. But you mentioned earlier, he probably doesn't even think about it.
Oh, no, he doesn't think about that or his astounding near 500 batting average. Like, I don't think he even cares just how rare those stats are in baseball, no matter how long a stretch of games, big or small. Just that sustained level of success. He just has that high of expectations at the plate, but he's able to meet them.
Illinois playing his ball at Wayne State, Division II in Detroit, Michigan. .357 batting average in his career there. Grounder to second. And Seagraves throws it over in time for out number 1. But Pelayo able to advance to third for the Trappers. For the Sabre Dogs, excuse me.
It's a job done here. I'm sure he want that to be the result early in the at-bat. Got a little jammed, but able to move Pelayo to third. Now you got Ben Newberg. 1 for 3. Led off with that single in the first. Just trying to just find a barrel here.
Way up and in over the head of Newberg. How about this start to come in this situation for Shahidi? Going against the top of the order in his first pitching appearance of the season against the best team in the league.
And already at a 3-run deficit, so he's just got to go out there. He's just got to think regardless of the scoreboard. Just go out there, just go right after him. Make him swing at it. Let your defense do the work behind you. And here's a good example. A pop fly in the infield with a runner on third. That's a job well done on that one pitch alone. That changes the complexity of this inning.
So now 2 down, and it'll bring up Diesel, Chris Monroe. Hasn't been his best game so far offensively. Hit into a double play in the first, struck out in the 3rd and 4th innings. Called strike, it's 0-1.
That Train's a big fan of the Sabre Dogs.
Yes.
But drives by all the time, blowing the horn. Gotta love it.
Line drive to left center field. Monroe gets off the schneid with an RBI single, as he's able to bring home Pelayo to make it 6-2 Souris Valley.
And you mentioned not the best start to the game, but that doesn't really affect Monroe. You still go late in the game, and he'll still find a way to get his, and he did there. He beat the shift, as Pierre has shown on him many times. They can pull heavy. You got the second baseman playing a bit of a rover position over past the bag. Shortstop covering the 5-6 hole. Didn't matter, as he was able to split the left and center fielder.
Team best 35th RBI of the season for Chris Monroe. Bring up Dason Cruz. Monroe breaking for second. Here's the throw. He slides in. Got him. Diesel trying to break for second base. It does not pay off for him. The Sabre Dogs holding a 6-2 lead, but a great hustle there from the big man.
Beautiful day to get out on the course, isn't it, Corey?
Without a doubt, Brian. And Scotty here was thinking the exact same thing.
There's a lot on the line for him today. He told his friends he's a scratch golfer, but the numbers today suggest otherwise. Ooh, swing and a miss.
Looks like he's excited to find that Titleist. Unfortunately, he was playing with mojos.
Ooh, and a major infraction just occurred. Can we get another look at that?
As from my angle, it looks like he's got about a 10, 12-foot putt, slightly.
Howdy, folks. It's a Canine Cafe. I reckon it's time you're due for a hearty meal. So saddle up for the day with one of our Hey Boss and Breakfast homemade soups. Fill your grill at a salad bar. Sink your teeth into our famous Canine burger and barbecue ribs. Top it off with spur rattling pie with a cum roll that's sure to put a smile on even the toughest outlaws. Shake the dirt off the boots each night and warm up with the gang. Tell them about it, Stacy.
I can't wait to see you at the county line.
Chris Monroe 0 for 3 until this at-bat. The RBI single to put Souris Valley up 6-2 as he scored Luis Pelayo.
He's got to be feeling good about that RBI hit, but he wasn't a little too satisfied with just one set of 90 feet. Tried to go on an early steal. It's actually paid off successfully for himself and a lot of other Sabre Dogs earlier this summer, but not that time.
6'5", 250. Tried to get the steal at second.
Hey, he can hustle. Though.
Yeah.
Like
he's not slow.
Yeah.
He's just big and maybe slower than some of his teammates. 5, 6, 7 in the order coming up for Pierre. Seagraves, Mueller, and Rich due up for the Trappers.
Now we talk about how the Sabre Dogs have been able to come together offensively as this game's carried on. A big part of that coming in that 4th inning. But how about Brett Laura? Already 73 pitches, 6 complete innings, and you'd think he's an everyday starter, or every week starter on the mound, I should say.
First start of the season. Coming down from short. Cruz throws to first. Got him. What a play. Dason Cruz getting downhill and throwing out Seagraves at first.
I gotta mention this too. You had Cameron Willman, a shortstop plus second baseman, but there are many guys in this Souris Valley roster that just make plays consistently all across the infield. Cruz can play short or third. Crouch can play third or short. Barlow can play second or third base. They're just that type of athletes out there in the infield.
I'll bring up Maddox Mueller. He swings at the first pitch. Mueller's struck out twice in this game, but we saw his speed and athleticism on display in center field with a sliding catch. One of the plays of the game on defense so far. Fly ball down the right field line. Just drops in foul territory.
Couple of big swings, didn't quite get all of that one. Might have got jammed a little bit. Still goes inside out, almost stealing a hit down the line. And while we're looking that way, we got another flamethrower warming up for the Sabre Dogs. Now it's not the aforementioned Marco Ozuna, the Cochise, rather Ethan Swanson. Now that is a guy that we have seen throw a handful of pitches 95 plus this summer, or right around those mid-90s. And his pitches have a lot of movement. So if he comes in as strike 3 retires Mueller, look out, because he is going to be another very fun pitcher to watch.
10th strikeout of the game now for Brett Laura. Might see Swanson, but doesn't feel like Laura's slowing down anytime soon.
He's feeling himself. I don't think he wants to come out anytime soon. There is a 120 pitch count limit this summer in the Expedition League to try to preserve some of these arms, but Laura still got a lot left in the tank here.
And he's only at 79 at the moment. Rich ticked foul in the first pitch.
I only saw one complete game. It was from Jordan Ewig, and it was because the game got called off due to lightning in the 8th inning. And at that point, Sabre Dogs were up by 9, so they just decided to finish the game. So that's technically the only complete game we've seen.
Laura's in a good spot to do it. 0-2 advantage here with 2 down against Colby Rich. Laura delivers. Just misses outside. I mentioned how open the zone has been with those extra inches giving love off the plate, but not that time with Lavorsi setting up on that part of the plate. Misses again, and it's 2-2. Laura fires in the pitch, swing and a miss, and that's K number 11. Brett Laura has now struck out 11 batters in this game, and the Sabre Dogs with a 6-2 lead.
Beautiful day to get out on the course, isn't it, Corey?
Without a doubt, Brian. And Scotty here was thinking the exact same thing.
There's a lot on the line for him today. He told his friends he's a scratch golfer, but the numbers today suggest otherwise. Ooh, swing and a miss.
Looks like he's excited to find that Titleist. Unfortunately, he was playing with Mojos.
Ooh, and a major infraction just occurred. Can we get another look at that?
As from my angle, it looks like he's got about a 10, 12-foot putt, slightly.
Howdy, folks. It's a Caroline Cafe. I reckon it's time you're due for a hearty meal. So saddle up for the day with one of our Hey Boss and Breakfast homemade soups. Fill your grill at our salad bar. Sink your teeth into our famous Caroline burger and barbecue ribs. Top it off with spur rattling pie with a cum roll that's sure to put a smile on even the toughest outlaws. Shake the dirt off the boots each night and warm up with the gang. Tell them about it, Stacy.
I can't wait to see you at the county line.
7th inning stretch in Minot. Souris Valley was down 2-1 going into the bottom of the 4th. They've scored the game's last 5 runs and are feeling good, looking for their 17th consecutive win. Chris Clayton and Mitch Kieran here with you from Corbett Field. Souris Valley 48-18, the Expedition League champions last season, and there were 12 teams in the league. 4 teams in the EL this season, and they're in prime position to be back-to-back league champs.
Absolutely. Now you get an entirely new look team, new coach, but the expectations remain the same. Now again, a smaller league, there's a lot more familiarity between these 4 teams, but plenty of talent and plenty of just that winning edge that a lot of these players have. So they wanted to turn some heads, but they're doing just that with this 20-1 record.
Cruz with a drive out to right field towards Jacob Griffin. He doesn't have to move much. Under it for out number 1. Good contact off the bat of Dason Cruz. Just a 1 pitch out to retire Cruz 0 for 4. Another guy just not having his nights, and it's a little tough, but he's had a string of tremendous games consistently at the plate. You know, it built his average up, 429. He has a hit in every game he's played this year. 13 games with at least a hit. Trying to continue that streak. May have one more chance later on.
I hope so.
Jake Barlow gives this one a drive deep to left field, and that ball is long gone. Barlow with his 5th blast of the season makes it 7-2 Souris Valley.
And how often do you come across a guy 5'8" playing in the middle infield that just possesses this much pop? Jake Barlow got that pitch up in the zone, cranks it out. He got on plane early, just turns on it. That's his 2nd home run in his 2nd straight game.
We finally, with that wind aiding the fly balls to left field, see one get over the fence.
That's right. We had about nearly 20-mile-per-hour wind at times blowing straight out to the left field foul pole. And it came all the way to the bottom of the 7th for the team that's... we're going to get the the team totals, because some of these stats are just astronomical for the Sabre Dogs on the summer. As a team, that was their 32nd home run.
The 1-0 pitch misses again. It's 2-0. Souris Valley with 9 games this season in which they've scored at least 11 runs. Average more than 10 runs per game. Mention those 32 home runs. Some incredible offensive numbers. Pierre was holding them off early in this game. They chased Kosheva off, and now Shahidi having some trouble here.
That team batting average at 377.
Team batting average. Incredible.
Batting average again, 1 through 9. You're not going to find a weak spot in the lineup. Basically every at-bat counts when you're the opposing team. Every guy is threatening at the plate.
It's a 5-pitch walk. Get Lavorsi on.
Next, it's your center fielder, number 23, Eddie Martinez.
And Eddie Martinez now steps to the plate for the Sabre Dogs. He's had himself a really nice game, reaching base in the 2nd, 4th, and 5th innings, scoring a couple runs.
Here's another guy who plays outstanding baseball defensively as well. Watch strike 1 of the outer half, but Coach Kieran has given him a lot of credit. For many of the games before Eddie came here, he had Pelayo as basically the everyday center fielder. Now when he gets Martinez in the lineup, he kind of takes that over.
Runner breaks for a second. And Lavorsi's in there safely. The throw from Trumpold a bit off target.
At that time, a delayed steal. So the early one we saw caught Diesel. This time, Trumpold comes up throwing, just couldn't quite connect. And it looks like Seagraves was well out in front of the bag, so might not have been able to put the tag on him regardless. But they're lucky it didn't quite pop right up to take third base as well.
Fourth stolen base of the game for Souris Valley now. Two and 1 to Martinez.
And they're staying aggressive, just a 5-run lead. But you want to give Laura and whoever might come in for him a little more support.
An 8-run lead for the Sabre Dogs, and they can end this game here in the 7th. Obviously a bit of work to do to get to there. There's the 3-1, swing and a miss, and a full count now.
Big swing right there. Martinez up in the count, 3-1. You're looking 1 pitch, 1 speed. Thought he had it. And I think he was swinging for the trees there. Yes. Almost swung out of his shoes that time.
He saw his buddy Jake Barlow send one over to left. He was trying to join in on the party. Full count pitch from Shahidi. Way inside. And Martinez will take first base for the 4th time in this game.
Again, a disciplined hitter. He's got the 1 knock, but also he will stay patient. He knows the zone very well, as I've said, and that time a pitch that might have been a little in that time, but still rides the chalk. And he doesn't get cheated there. He'll take ball 4.
Alex Crouch fouls it off on the left side. It's 0-1.
And how about Alex Crouch here? You know, we mentioned the string of not the best luck at the plate, but Coach Kieran, he's still saying, hey, man, we got faith in you. And we're keeping you out there. We like what you have defensively, and we know what you're capable of offensively. It's only a matter of time.
The 0-1 outside. It's ball on a strike. Crouch with an RBI single and double in this game so far. Shahidi delivers. Line drive to right field. Drops in front of Griffin. Runner holds up at third base. Lavorsi stops there. Martinez at second. Crouch on first. Bases are loaded now for the top of the order.
Yep, have a day, Alex Crouch. There were many hits, line outs, deep fly outs to right in blowing wind. Now we thought that Sunday was going to come around, but here tonight, 3-hit performance. Just trust the approach, and finally, results will come your way.
Pelayo to right field. That gets down as well. Lavorsi comes in from third to score. Martinez coming around as well. 2 runs come in. A couple RBIs and the single from Luis Pelayo.
Louie, he's staying hot as well. Gotta love it. Just great gap-to-gap hitting for Souris Valley. Again, the wind not favoring the left-handed hitters, but just trying to swing a little bit more through it. Still trying to go gap-to-gap, and it's paying off again this inning.
9-2 advantage for the Sabre Dogs in Minot.
At the heart of every small town are the people that live there and the businesses that serve them. From sporting events to 4-H, Lions clubs to hospital foundations, Bassett Motors has worked for the past 23 years to make sure the heart of its area small towns continues to be the people. With over 15 employees, Bassett Motors prides itself on small town service with personal attention. Bassett Motors, where our customers send their friends.
Beautiful day to get out on the course, isn't it, Corey?
Without a doubt, Brian. And Scotty here was thinking the exact same thing.
There's a lot on the line for him today. He told his friends he's a scratch golfer, but the numbers today suggest otherwise. Ooh, swing and a miss.
Looks like he's excited to find that Titleist. Unfortunately, he was playing with mojos.
Ooh, and a major infraction just occurred. Can we get another?
At the heart of every small town are the people that live there and the businesses that serve them. From sporting events to 4-H, Lions clubs to hospital foundations, Bassett Motors has worked for the past 23 years to make sure the heart of its area small towns continues to be the people. With over 15 employees, Bassett Motors prides itself on small town service with personal attention. Bassett Motors, where our customers send their friends.
Beautiful day to get out on the course, isn't it, Corey?
Without a doubt, Brian. And Scotty here was thinking the exact same thing.
There's a lot on the line for him today. He told his friends he's a scratch golfer, but the numbers today suggest otherwise. Ooh, swing and a miss.
Looks like he's excited to find that Titleist. Unfortunately, he was playing with mojos.
Ooh, and a major infraction just occurred. Can we get another look at that?
As from my angle, it looks like he's got about a 10, 12-foot putt slightly.
This game on the Beck Sports Network is presented by the following: Farmers Union Insurance, Dakota Community Bank and Trust, Bell Bank, West Dakota Chevy Dealers, BASF, we create chemistry, Women's Way,
Souris Valley has scored the game's last 8 runs, and it's the 3rd pitcher taking the mound today for Pierre with Colton Yanish. 5th appearance of the season for him. You see the numbers this year. Playing this year at Illinois Valley Community College, where he batted and pitched. He's done the same this summer for the Trappers, and he's got his hands full here with the runners on the corners and 1 down in the bottom of the 7th.
Well, he's got a lefty-on-lefty matchup, which should favor him, but unfortunate that lefty is Hunter Delanoy. Yeah, one of the probably, quite possibly the best average in the whole league. This is going to be the 3rd time the Sabre Dogs have seen Yanish on the summer.
First pitch from Yanish, misses outside. Delanoy already an RBI double earlier, extending his hit streak, to 17 games now.
A runner on first, it would be the man on deck, would be the game clinching run in the 10-run rule after the 7th.
Chopper to first. Barraza steps on the bag for 1. Trumpold can't hang on. Another run scores for the Sabre Dogs. Alex Crouch making it to the dish to make it 10-2.
Well, again, that's a little tough right there. On a double play opportunity, but the ground ball led Barraza right on top of the bag. So didn't have the forced second anymore. And a quick throw to the plates. And just couldn't quite get on the same page. Now 10-2.
Pelayo did make it to 3rd. bringing up Ben Newbert. Coming up empty his last 3 at-bats after a single in the first. 1-0.
So Newbert walked off one game. Now, I'm not going to try to jinx anything, but if he were to hit a home run here, then that'd do it.
10-run advantage, and this game's over. And it's 1-1. The Trappers were right in this game. In the bottom of the 4th, they were up 2-1. We've seen that a lot this season. Souris Valley just exploding, running away with run rule victories. 1-1 popped high in the air. Yanish calling off his teammates. He's under it for out number 3. No run rule, at least in the 7th, but a big 7th inning for the Sabre Dogs. They put 4 more on the board, and they're up 10-2.
This game on the Beck Sports Network is presented by the following: Farmers Union Insurance, Dakota Community Bank and Trust, Bell Bank, West Dakota Chevy Dealers, BASF, we create chemistry, Women's Way.
At the heart of every small town are the people that live there and the businesses that serve them. From sporting events to 4-H, Lions clubs to hospital foundations, Bassett Motors has worked for the past 23 years to make sure the heart of its area small towns continues to be the people. With over 15 employees, Bassett Motors prides itself on small town service with personal attention. Bassett Motors, where our customers send their friends.
Jake Barlow getting things going for Souris Valley with a home run. Solo shot in the bottom of the 7th. And they would build on that. 4 runs for the Sabre Dogs in the 7th to give themselves a 10-2 lead. And now they've got a new pitcher on the bump, Ethan Swanson. You see the numbers there, really impressive. And to complement those numbers even more, he's only allowed 4 hits in his 8 innings he's pitched. Having a heck of a season in relief so far.
Now, I tell you what, he's got a flamethrower for a right hand, so strap in here and get ready for a pitching clinic if Ethan Swanson is on one. Now, he had a bit of a scary situation this past Wednesday. Got in a tough spot. They were losing 2-0 against North Iowa. Now, Tyler Elliott came in and had a very gutsy performance, but a comeback line drive by Eddie Madrigal of North Iowa, and it hit Swanson on the hand. We saw a very swollen pinky, but it did not last like that long as he's back out on the mound tonight. But they played it safe, pulled him out of the game. Nothing broken, but again, you don't want to have that, especially to his pitching hand.
Guns in the 0-1, and he's ahead 0-2 against Carson Trumple. Got to give some credit to Brett Laura. His first start of the season, he goes 7 strong innings. Out of the last 11 batters he faced, he struck out 8 of them. Just misses on the 0-2.
So you're saying now Brett Laura, his pitching got better as the game carried on. That's remarkable for a more often than not reliever.
1-2, fouled off on the right side. If you're Brett Laura, you're probably saying, "Hey, coach, why'd you take me out? I was dealing." But you understand his pitch count was up into the 80s, and they give different arm an opportunity here.
Well, it was a tough start, but it eventually became that ideal game for Coach Kieran, at least pitching-wise. You want to get at least 6, maybe 7 or 8 strong out of your starter, then go to the pen just for the sake of giving those guys their innings as well. But you're in a good situation to do that, 10-2, and you got a good guy out there in the bump now, Ethan Swanson.
Swanson finishing up his career at Northwest Oklahoma State, Division II. Here's the 2-2, swing and a miss. Continuing where Brett Laura left off, as now 9 of the last 12 batters that have stepped up have been struck out for the Trappers.
That was the 18th strikeout on the year this summer for Swanson. That was now through 8 1/3. But watch closely on his pitches. He's a reliever that doesn't have to have a big array. He's got a Now, what he's told me is a 4-seamer, but I am still very convinced it's a 2-seamer for how much it just runs away from the batter, lefties, and runs in on righties. And he has a slider to match his fastball perfectly.
Fires the 0-1. Another foul tick. And Griffin with an RBI triple in the third. Big offensive splash in this game for Pierre. Time called. Again, these teams will face off tomorrow here at Corbett Field. Souris Valley, a victory here will be their 17th in a row and improve them to 21-1 in the season. The loss here, Pierre will drop to 7-16 and will also drop to 4th in the standings as they will mathematically dip below North Iowa, the Ragin' Roosters, with a very similar 6-13 record. 1-2 now, off on the breaking ball.
And I believe we had a weather call off tonight's game in Grand Forks between the Pilots and Roosters, so that would be, in fact, the standing. So Souris Valley with for now, a very comfortable lead first.
Red River in second with 7-11 record. Right up the middle, base hit for Jacob Griffin, who's the guy we featured coming in our Pro Seed player matchup, which turned out to be the right choice. He's got a couple hits now.
Yeah, that's aged well, and again, it's hard enough to just time up a fastball sitting in the lower 90s, but also with movements. But that time, even with 2 strikes, no problem, stayed within and goes right back up the middle, hits it where it's pitched. It has himself his second knock of the day.
Griffin played a couple of years, Ottawa University, Arizona, an NAIA school. He's hitting .305 there. Bringing his offense here to Pierre this summer as well. Pass ball off the glove of Lavorsi pushes Griffin onto second base.
Well, Pierre's got catching up to do, but yeah, that time Lavorsi just popped out of the mid, up and in, couldn't quite get to the pitch in time. So Pierre, they've already been able to stack good at-bats early in the game. Let's see if they can try to replicate that here.
There's the 1-0 to Hunter Brown. The velocity you see coming out of the hand of Swanson. You warned us.
Yep.
Coming out of the bullpen. Swanson's got some serious heat.
Well, again, he wore that comebacker off the hand on a line drive, so you wonder how that's going to hold up, but it really didn't have much of an effect after a day or two.
It doesn't look like it.
Oh,
he healed up quick. 2-0. Grounder up the middle again. This one's straight to Cruz. He fires onto first for out number 2. Griffin does advance to third.
Again, just so smooth. Cruz just feels this grounder like an outfielder coming in on a do or die. Just breezy, just flips that ball to first. Another smooth play by Dason Cruz at short. That will advance the runner, so still got to work hard to get your third and throw up another goose egg here.
Souris Valley looking maybe pull off a run rule if they can get a couple runs in the bottom half of this inning. Trappers trying to chip away. Something going here in the top half. Strike of the first pitch to McCreary.
I believe we got a pinch hitter here, a right-hander, number 17, Daniel Hab, coming into the game. So this will be his first at-bat.
Good guy to have coming in. Team leading .364 batting average, but he chops out to short. Cruz makes the play for the third out. 3 up and 3 down for Ethan Swanson coming on the mound for the Sabre Dogs.
This game on the Beck Sports Network is presented by the following: Farmers Union Insurance, Dakota Community Bank and Trust, Val Bank, West Dakota Chevy Dealers, BASF, we create chemistry, Women's Way.
At the heart of every small town are the people that live there and the businesses that serve them. From sporting events to 4-H, Lions clubs to hospital foundations, Bassett Motors has worked for the past 23 years to make sure the heart of its area small towns continues to be the people. With over 15 employees, Bassett Motors prides itself on small town service with personal attention. Bassett Motors, where our customers send their friends.
Beautiful day at Corbett Field in Minot. Souris Valley with a 10-2 lead over the Trappers. Game's last 9 runs scored by Souris Valley. I'm not sure if those kids have even seen any of them. They've been occupied over there training, getting ready for next summer. Some prospects there for your brother, head coach Michael Kieran.
Absolutely. Might be looking at a class of 2035ers perhaps. Yes. But, you know, Coach Kieran, he loves to recruit, you know, both for BSC, both for the summer leagues as well. So you never know. He's already got one in particular for the class of 2038 on his scouting list. And his last name may or may not be Kieran as well.
Okay.
So
that'd be an easy recruiting pitch there.
Yeah. Also, his wife, a assistant softball coach for Legacy High School in Bismarck, and they had a fantastic season, finishing 3rd at state. So yeah, his young son has seen plenty of time at a ball field or in his young life.
Off to a great start.
They're doing it right.
Yeah, his career on the diamond. Chris Clayton here and Mitch Kieran with you on Beck for our first broadcast of the summer on Beck of Souris Valley Sabre Dogs baseball. Happy to bring you games on the Sabre Dogs all summer. Stay tuned to Beck.tv for a schedule of what games we'll be covering. This is Diesel, Chris Monroe. RBI single, was thrown out at second in the 6th inning.
Yeah, I haven't got anything to swing at this at-bat yet, just a 3-0 count.
Yanish able to find the zone that time.
He's pitching to Carson Trumbull, playing pretty solid so far this whole game.
Yanish delivers the 3-1. Foul on the right side. Barraza racing after it, not able to get there. Full count.
Yeah, lucky that one just got out of reach for Barraza. Still had a good jump, but just tails away from him. But another tough at bat for Diesels. But he's got second life here, thinking base hit, ball 4. If he gets on, that makes Cruz the clinching run here if they reach the 10-run rule.
4, 5, 6 in the order up for the Sabre Dogs. Here is the 3-2. Fouled straight back.
Now we were so close in that aforementioned game where Ben Newbert walked it off against Red River, but we are yet to see the actual home run competition to determine a game. There are no extra innings this summer in the Expedition League. It's a 3 versus 3 if the game is tied after the 9th for a home run competition. It's pretty,
I love that.
Pretty unique. So they
gotta hope and pray we see one of these this summer on Beck.
Oh, absolutely. I would love that. As each hitter gets 5 swings, not pitches, but rather swings. And if it's still tied up after that, then it's mano-y-mano up and down the lineup. Sudden death.
Monroe, deep drive to left field. McCreary at the wall, and it's gone. There's Diesel. Chris Monroe, his 9th home run of the season for the Sabre Dogs.
That thing had Diesel power, sends it to the moon. This thing shot high in the air off the bat, but it's a fly ball that just kept going. Another feat of strength for Chris Monroe.
The wind has died down a bit. That was all power for Monroe.
Hit it a ton, but it just kept going. 9 home runs. That guy is strong.
And now, just in the last 10 days, he's hit 4 home runs. 8-game stretch for Chris Monroe. 13 RBIs as well in that stretch. Way up and in on Dason Cruz. It's 2-0.
Yeah, chin music, and late in the game here, Cruz. He's still looking for his first knock. You know, he's had a string of tremendous games in a row. Might be on a hitting streak of his own, but looking for his here. Not going to get it. Goes inside out on a foul.
run ends the game for the Sabre Dogs. 20-1 record on the season, 16 consecutive wins. Only one game within this winning streak was within a run. It's a 4-3 win on June 11th against Red River, who's also the only team to beat the Sabre Dogs this season.
Well, there's a fan here saying he wants to hit, and I bet he does. Cruz actually himself on a 12-game hitting streak.
Here's the 3-1. Just a bit high, and it's 4-1.
Well, he got on base.
Yeah,
gotta like that.
That streak, the hit streak, might come to an end for Cruz.
Well, here's a guy we've already seen homer as well. Jake Barlow crushed one.
Another homer here would end this game.
Now, we actually interviewed him as a player of the game after Sunday, but gave a lot of the credit to the rest of his teammates. And he's going, I went 1 for 4, man. Are you sure I'm the player of the game? And I'm like, Jake, you got 3 stolen bases as well, and you made how many plays that many other second basemen wouldn't make in that game alone, and a home run. Like, yeah, dude, you got to give yourself some credit eventually.
Gotta respect the humility.
Oh, yes.
He's had another nice game here. A couple runs scored, a single and a home run.
And again, a guy you just love having around the club in the clubhouse, because, again, very talented batter, fielder, and just overall player, but he's a guy you love having in the clubhouse as well. He will pump other guys' tires more than his own.
That was his home run last inning. That really got the 4-inning production, 4-run production going.
Yeah, that really kicked this game into another gear.
It was 6-2 at the time. Trappers were hanging around. Home run from Barlow set things off. Brings us to now with him up again. Chance to end this game. They can get a run here. Home run swing, but a foul ball to the left side.
And those pitches up in the zone, they look very enticing, but they're just that much more difficult to get on plane with. You almost got to swing through it, and it'll still fly in the air. But of course, again, a lot of these hitters trying to swing slightly up. Try to put it in the air themselves, but when it's elevated, you really don't got to do much at all.
Way up and in for Mianish, and it's 3-1.
He's back to a hitter's count here. 3 balls, 1 strike, thinking 1 speed and 1 spot.
Mianish delivers. Full count.
Yeah, it might have been just a hair out in front that time. Might have given him a changeup up in the zone. A good pitch. 3-1. Barlow wanted all of it.
Fouled straight back.
Draws a 7-pitch at bat here, so Colton Yanish only threw 4 coming out of relief in the 7th, and already up to 19. And just his 3rd hitter faced here.
Barlow fouls it back again.
And he's at the magic number 8. Now that comes into a big advantage early in the game if you're against a starting pitcher. You see 8 pitches, that gives your dugout, the guy on deck, the guy in hole, plenty of opportunities to see what he's doing, if he's given any patterns or where he's setting up. But late in the game in Souris Valley with a 9-run lead. Well, they're just trying to maybe put it away.
The 9th pitch popped high in the air, shallow left field. Brown under it from short, gloves it for out number 1.
Next, for your Sabre Dog, it's your catcher, number
and it's Lavorsi now.
And another guy fully capable of bringing home Cruz for the 10th run of the league. Turned on one we thought might have went down the street past right field as well. Still crushing RBI double. Again, another pitcher. You really got to pitch careful to a lot of these guys. I've been saying that about about Monroe, Newbert, and Lavorsi all summer, but same can really be said when you have this many talented hitters up and down the roster.
Team batting average is 377 on the season. They have 6 batters in the order hitting at least 412. 8 hitting at least 375. Pretty incredible numbers.
Oh, yes.
Lavorsi's kind of one of those newcomers playing in his 6th game. And it's hitting up above 412. So even the new players that head coach Michael Kieran has brought in due to injury or due to player turnover, and there's just been no let up. It's been seamless transitions.
Absolutely not. When you have, especially when you have guys going pro like Wesselman and Millman, it's a matter of you just got to reload. We still are looking at even more new players coming in. We're looking at the likes of more middle infielders like Will Prater at the D1 level out of Western Carolina. You got Eric Martinez, formerly of Texas Tech. So again, like, you might not even see the final form Sabre Dogs, but that's a lot of case for summer league teams. Your day one team oftentimes looks a little bit different than the team that you have at the end of the year.
2-2, ground ball to first, diving play by Barraza for the second out. Flashing the leather over at first.
Up next for your Sabre Dogs.
And on a dive too. Big first baseman Barraza. And he's been playing a lot of balls hard here tonight. Going after one's kind of out of reach, kind of in foul territory. That time, a hot shot grounder and able to make the dive in the backhand stop for the unassisted ground out.
Valuable experience for Barraza over at first for the Trappers. He just finished his freshman season at Santa Ana Community College in California. His summer league experience is invaluable for players trying to extend their careers, but also for younger college players. Chance to develop and improve over the course of the offseason.
Absolutely.
Yanish, one of those younger guys, finished his community college career at Illinois Valley.
Many dual players for Pierre, and he's one of them, a pitcher and listed as a first baseman as well.
Here's the 2-0. Called strike, and it's 2-1.
Again, I credit the discipline for Martinez. Fired everything but the hands on 2-0. Sees ball, he's thinking swing, 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 last second. Gonna lay off this one, not with a 2-0 count.
Able to hold back again, it's 3-1.
Already has one knock up the middle. Another hitter's count for him.
Martinez holds back and he's walked. Third time today, Martinez is walked.
You know, coming into this game, I think Eddie only had 4 or 5 hits. And with that third walk, that's already 10 walks on the summer for him. He has a lot of patience, but it pays off.
Came into this game at 294 batting average, on base percentage well above 500 now. Alex Crouch with the game-ending run at second base in the form of Dason Cruz. Crouch hacks at it, it's 0-2. Crouch with 3 hits in this game already and a couple RBIs. 3 of 14 Sabre Dogs hits in this game so far. Here's the 0-2. Well outside from Yanish.
Just off the plate, and that's a pitch that's been called consistently a strike this game. Lucky that one just didn't get called. That's near perfect execution for Yanish.
Now he comes back and fires the 1-2. Line drive right side, and that will end the game. Alex Crouch, his 4th hit and 3rd RBI. Sends Cruz across home plate. It's a 12-2 Souris Valley Sabre Dogs win. 17 wins in a row for the Sabre Dogs, the organization record, and they improved to 21-1 on the season. Another dominant victory.
They're running out of fingers and toes at this point. They're having fun playing the game well and just winning. I promise you, that makes the game that's already meant to be played for fun just that much more fun.
12-2 the final. Sabre Dogs take down the Pierre Trappers. We'll wrap things up when we come back to Minot after this.
At Beck Communications, we've been planning for your future. Over the past decade, we've placed nearly 200,000 miles of dedicated fiber optics in the ground. Enough fiber optic strands to circle the world 8 times. Taking no shortcuts, we connected every home and business in our service area with dedicated fiber optics. It's your personal, unrestricted, unthrottled connection to the world. Best of all, this dedicated fiber means you do not share your connection. We call this intimate dedicated connection Beck Fiber.
I'm starting off on some smaller projects to get me worked up to some of the bigger things built around here.
The atmosphere in the shop is very, very team-based, which is great.
It's really cool to see the beginning and end product.
So it's very satisfying to build something that you know people are really going to appreciate.
Howdy folks, it's a Caroline Cafe. I reckon it's time you're due for a hearty meal. So saddle up for the day with one of our Hay Boss and breakfast homemade soups. Fill your grill at our salad bar, sink your teeth into our famous Caroline burger and barbecue ribs. Top it off with spur rattling pie with a calm roll that's sure to put a smile on even the toughest outlaws. Shake the dirt off the boots each night and warm up with the gang. Tell them about it, Stacy.
I can't wait to see you at the county line.
NISC's culture is great in many different aspects. I like that we all have a sense of wanting to help each other out.
NISC actually means what we say. We've got our shared values, our principles of personal development from integrity to all relationships. We stand by those.
There's an encouraging and friendly atmosphere here that it's just kind of fun to be around.
Howdy folks, it's a Caroline Cafe. I reckon it's time you're due for a hearty meal. So saddle up for the day with one of our Hay Boss and breakfast homemade soups. Fill your grill at our salad bar, sink your teeth into our famous Caroline burger and barbecue ribs. Top it off with spur rattling pie with a calm roll that's sure to put a smile on even the toughest outlaws. Shake the dirt off the boots each night and warm up with the gang. Tell them about it, Stacy.
I can't wait to see you at the county line.
Everybody needs an off-season, but our announcers have a tough time slowing down.
Incredible! For the second time today, Brent has jammed the printer.
Really tough time.
He swiftly brings it down the lane, and he carries it down the stairway. And he finishes with a slam.
It's now time for the post-game report, brought to you by Women's Way.
Back in Minot on a Women's Way post-game report. Souris Valley Sabre Dogs, 17 wins in a row. They improved to 21-1, a 12-2 victory over the Pierre Trappers. Well, a big offensive day with 15 hits. Choose one player now for our player of the game. And it's Alex Crouch, presented by Women's Way. And he's actually joining us now, putting on the headset. Alex, thanks for your time. Congrats on the big game.
Hey, thank you very much.
So you have obviously a little bit of a slump coming into this game.
Little, yeah.
6 games without a hit. I guess just how good did it feel to get off the schneid and have a game like this?
Well, I mean, I can finally breathe, you know. I mean, I don't know, unluckiness.
Yeah.
And, I don't know, kind of lack of confidence, and then kind of, I don't know, just putting all that aside, just trying to do what I can do. And it's starting to work out now, so.
A big performance for you with 4 hits in this game. And with this team as a whole now, 17 consecutive wins, 21-1 record. How do you think day-to-day, game-to-game, you and this team was able to find the urgency and the intensity to keep showing out and getting these run rule wins?
Well, I mean, we keep it very loose in the dugout and on the field. But I mean, when we're in the box or we're on the mound, we're ready to play. We're ready to like come at guys. And I mean, baseball's fun. Winning's even more fun. I mean, I really wasn't too used to it this past season, and so I'm embracing every win we possibly can get here. So it's definitely fun being on the other side of things.
Right. And for you, a great career at Missouri Western State, and now you're bringing it to Souris Valley this summer. Do you think that a performance like this, coming out of your little slump, can kind of help you spark some more success playing again tomorrow?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I feel like confidence is key, and if you don't have it, then you're not going to do well.
Thanks for your time. Player of the game today, and congrats on the win.
Thank you very much.
That's Alex Crouch with us here on our Women's Way post-game report. 12-2 the final score. Souris Valley able to take down Pierre. Thanks for joining us on Beck, our first broadcast of Sabre Dogs baseball of the summer. We'll have more coming your way. Check out the listings on Beck.tv. Thanks for joining us, my broadcast partner Mitch Kieran and the rest of our Beck Sports crew. Scott Lurch and Jesse Schwab, our camera operators here in Minot. Jordan Lowry, our director in our Beck studios with Mick Tidrow. I'm Chris Clayton. 12-2, Souris Valley victorious on Beck.
At Beck Communications, we've been planning for your future. Over the past decade, we've placed nearly 200,000 miles of dedicated fiber optics in the ground, enough fiber optic strands to circle the world 8 times. Taking no shortcuts, we connected every home and business in our service area with dedicated fiber optics. It's your personal, unrestricted, unthrottled connection to the world. Best of all, this dedicated fiber means you do not share your connection. We call this intimate dedicated connection Beck Fiber.
I'm starting off on some smaller projects to get me worked up to some of the bigger things built around here.
The atmosphere in the shop is very, very team-based, which is great.
It's really cool to see the beginning and end product.
So it's very satisfying to build something that you know people are really going to appreciate.